If you are car shopping now, who's car shopping right now? Type me or type right now. Or if you're car shopping in the next 12 months, type me in the comments. If you are car shopping now or in the next 12 months, type me in the comments. We're getting ready to talk about money. We're getting ready to talk about some big money you need to know, especially if you're getting a loan. Anybody who's car shopping with a loan, uh, um, type an L. I want to talk to you about a strategy that you're going to use to put banks, credit unions, and dealers against each other. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Come on in and let me know where you're at. I like to know where my people are at as I'm talking to you. Let's do a quick roll call, and then we'll get ready for some serious Q&A. But I'm going to show y'all how to do this strategy. I call it the bank bidding war, where you're going to put banks, credit unions, and dealers against each other to find out who has the best rate. Okay? It's called the bank bidding war. So come on in. Let me see where we at today. We got Cali in the house. I see Colorado in the house, Pennsylvania, Georgia in the house. I see you. What's going on? I see you, New Jersey. I see you, Chicago. I see you, um, Jacksonville, Florida. Um, Toronto, Canada is in the house. Good to see you. Come on in. I'm trying to see everybody. Florida, Georgia. Uh, I think I see a state, Connecticut, New York City, Boston. Great to see you. Let's go. Come on in. I see you. Let's go. Stay very active in the chat. If you ever been on a live with me, I like the dialogue. You gotta stay close to the keyboard. Okay. So I want y'all to get your questions ready. Start typing them. Just start typing them. Start typing your questions. My book, my new book, it's a digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It is officially out. So thank God we've been able to bring this book to you guys, been able to bring it to the world. It's already rated 4.94 on goodreads.com. We got 31 reviews. So everybody, while you're watching, you can get a copy immediately for 75% off as part of our book launch. So all you do to get yours, you won't leave the broadcast, is go to my TikTok bio or go to my Instagram bio. If you're on Instagram, click the link and get your copy. You'll see a button there when you click the link that says 75% off. And if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, scan the QR code or go to deshonsbook.com. Get your book 75% off as part of our book launch. All right. And make sure you review it. I love the reviews. Thank you to everybody who's reviewed it. All right. Do they all have to run your credit or is it a separate hit? Nope. When you do this right, we're talking about what I call the bank bidding war. Who's ever wondered if they really got the best rate? Be honest. Who's ever wondered if you've ever got the best rate? Can y'all shoot the likes up on TikTok? Just keep tapping the screen. We already running the likes up. What I'm about to tell y'all is how you never wonder, okay? Bids. We got to go from dealing with one person to getting bids. And here's how it works. There's something called the rate window. The rate window is a particular period of time where the credit bureaus allow me, to have multiple banks and lenders access our credit to give us a loan. Within a certain period of time, it's only going to weigh on our score like one hard inquiry. So if you have successfully shopped your rate, you've gotten 10, 15, 5, 20 banks to run your credit so that they can give you their best loan offer, but you're doing it within that window. So here's how you do it. You don't go into dealerships and just let them run your credit. What you do is you're going to go find your car. And once you find your car, you are going to lock up your car and you are going to then allow banks and credit unions to access your credit. See, there's banks and credit unions are playing a game right now. They're playing a game with us. But we got to know what this game is. They want to throw around these pre-approvals, but they're really, most of them are restricted pre-approvals. Restricted pre-approvals, which you never want to use, are pre-approvals that tell you who you can shop with, that tell you go shop here. Give you an example. Capital One Navigator may say, well, you're approved, but you have to deal with our dealer network. We don't want to deal with a dealer network. I see y'all running the lights up on TikTok. Could everybody hit the share button and share this with one person? I guarantee they will thank you. Guarantee they'll thank you. So shout out to the sharers. So when we don't ever want to, the whole purpose of getting a pre-approval or even really getting your best deal on a car comes from when you can shop wherever you want to shop. It's like ShopRite. You walk into ShopRite and they say, oh, you can only shop here. You can't check Stop and Shop, can't check Publix, can't check anywhere else. You only can shop here. Well, what if y'all overcharging? Then that's the same thing when we deal with some of these restricted pre-approvals. Carvana, they'll pre-approve you and say you're pre-approved to shop with Carvana. So our competition, oh no, we ain't gonna let you shop with them. We don't pre-approve you for that. Same thing with CarMax. Same thing with all of these websites that tie you to a particular place for you to shop. We don't want that. Okay. And so you can't depend on any of those things. Here's what you do. You can Google, because the only purpose of getting a pre-approval is for budgeting. And for those of y'all who are connected to me, I actually am going to release a calculator I created. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. It's an online like software, and I'm actually going to release that to y'all in a couple days. So if you are not subscribed, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, if you're not on my email list, if you're not connected to this community, you are going to miss it when I release this in a couple days. It's going to be absolutely free. It's something that our members use inside Cars from Home University. It's something that you'll see inside my book if you have it. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. So the reason why you get pre-approved is so you can budget. Just like with a house. You go get pre-approved and then you go find your house. You don't know how much you can spend until you get pre-approved. But the games that these banks and credit unions are playing, y'all, is they're trying not to give us a pre-approval. They're really trying to get a hard pull and get us locked into a loan with them. That's really what they're trying to do. Some of you, have any of you ever tried to get a pre-approval and they told you we need the car first? Right? Has anybody ever tried to get a pre-approval and the bank or credit union said we need to know the specific car to pre-approve you? Right? Orlando said, yep. Tracy said, yeah. So think about how backwards that is. That's like if any of you own a home, you know, when you go to get pre-approved for your mortgage, that'd be like them telling you go find a house and then come back and get pre-approved. Well, that doesn't make sense. But with cars, that's what they're trying to pull. So we don't ever want, remember this, y'all. Remember this as long as you remember anything. Never let someone access our credit until we've already found our car. See, if you stick to that rule, then you're never going to open up the rate window, because the minute you find your car, that's when we go into the shopping part. That's when you find your car, you lock up your best deal, you are bringing that paperwork home. That's called a buyer's order. You're going to bring that thing home and you're going to call your bank, call your credit union. You're going to go online, type in auto loans online. Lightstream is a company called Lightstream. It's Community Credit Union. Any of these people you can find online, it's game time. It is time for them to bid, and you'll already have your car, so there won't be anything stopping you. So you're gonna let all the banks, credit unions that you know run your credit when you get home with your buyer's order, which means your car is already sitting there waiting at the dealership. This is very important, y'all. This is like baking a cake, but you don't put the frosting into the mix. You don't put the frosting in the cake mix. It comes at a certain state, at a certain step. The frosting is this step. If you do something in the wrong order, you mess it up. You must wait until after you get your deal. No one has touched your credit. I got my car. I'm going to take it home. I'll call y'all tomorrow, dealership, because I'm going to call my bank, my credit union, and I'm going to let some online, and I'm going to shop for my financing. And then I'll let you know, this is the part two, that a lot of you will sometimes skip. But don't skip this because this is your money. After you get the deal, after you get your bank, your credit union, the online credit union's rate, now we are calling the dealership and we are saying to the finance manager, hey, Mr. Finance Manager, Mrs. Finance Manager, good news. So I got 6.29 from my bank, my credit union, from whoever gave it to you. But if you guys can beat it, I'll give you the business. This is how you win. Some of you may have heard dealers are not giving y'all the best prices because you don't want to give them your financing. Who's heard that? Now, some of them are scum. Some of them are scams. That's why we always have multiple options. But sometimes if you say to them, I will give you the opportunity to see if you could beat my bank. That is what you want. Dealerships got 10 banks, y'all, 7 banks, 15 banks. It's a whole different conversation when they're calling their banks to try to beat what you got versus how you may have dealt with them in the past. You probably went to them in the past and said, all right, just let me know what rate you could get. Now, when they talk to their banks, here's the question. What's the highest rate we could give them? That's what the question is for most people car shopping. The question that it's going to be now when you do this is, can we find a bank that can beat what they got? It's different when they're trying to beat what you have versus you just telling them, all right, let me know the best you could do. And what you'll find most times is these dealers have leverage. They can call a bank and say, look, I need you to give me 5.9. They already got 6.2 from their bank. I need 5.49. They can call and they give these banks millions of dollars in business. But when you do this, now you're going to leave with what I call price assurance. This is what you want. Who wants to guarantee that I paid less than everyone else? Don't you want to guarantee that when I make a car deal, I paid the lowest price for everything that I could have paid? Isn't that what we want? We want to guarantee I paid the lowest price for everything. That's what you do. You now get your own financing, get those offers, you give the dealer a chance to beat it. So you might think the dealer the bank that wins your offer wins, but the dealer might call you and say, good news, I even beat that. I got you a half a point less. That'll save you money. Depending on how much your loan is, that could be thousands. This is how you shop, and this is how you come home with your car and know that I got the best price for the car, I got the best interest rate on the market, and it's no questions in my mind. That's how you do the bank bidding war. Okay? It must be done correctly. And at the end of that period, when that rate window closes, the effect on our credit score is the same as one hard inquiry. That is when you know you've done it correctly, but no one can access your credit before that. If you let them access your credit before that, you're lost because you've already started the clock ticking. All right. Jason said, I got the program and going through it now. It makes car shopping easier and you don't have to sit at the dealership. So Jason's in my program, Cars from Home University, where I have all videos and everything. Thank you, Jason. The same information that's in Cars from Home University is in my book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So you can download your copy now, 75% off while we're on here. Anybody who wants their copy, use it. If you are in the market, use it. Get it at 75%. $97 is still a great value for the book because of how much money it's going to save you. But 75% off, that is even better. So go there, grab your copy. It's in my TikTok bio and my Instagram bio. You can go to deshonsbook.com or you can scan the QR code. Okay, can you talk about leasing and getting the best deal? I keep missing that part. Whenever whenever it comes to leasing and getting the best deal on a lease, it comes through multiple offers. You have to show yourself how much the dealers are trying to make on you. The only way for you to see that is for you to look at multiple offers. You're going to see, here's when you know you've done it right. You pick out a car. If you get a price offer for that car, always get it with first month's payment only, out of pocket, no down payment. First month's payment out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year. You can switch this later. Once you find the best offer, you can adjust your mileage. But when we're shopping, we want to shop with average miles so we can judge the deal. So you're going to do first month's payment. You're going to do, and then you're going to divide, once you get the quote, you're going to divide the MSRP. You're going to divide the payment rather into the MSRP. And that's going to give you a number. So if you divide, for instance, 500 is the payment, the MSRP, let's say, is $40,000. 500 divided by $40,000 is 0.0125. Excuse me. The lower that number, the better. If it's 1%, it's a steal. If it's between 1 and 1.5%, that's a deal. But you don't know what your deal is going to be. If it's over 1.5%, then it's just we don't lease those cars. We don't lease cars with bad lease programs. We don't pay over 1.5% because percentage-wise, we're paying too much for a car that we're giving back. So we don't want to pay. We have to be, it has to be a threshold. And I created the 1.5% rule for everyone to know. Once I pay above 1.5%, I'm paying too much for a car that I'm going to be giving back in 3 years. It's no value in that lease anymore. So when you do that, you're going to call, if you do it manually, which means you're not working with me, I can't really tell you exact, because when you use my way, you're using my scripts. Everyone who shops my way, if it's in my book, it has my scripts. And what I'm saying in those scripts is telling them what we want. Our first contact, everything is done on a computer. If you're going to do it manually, then you would just call a sales manager and you would get quotes. If I didn't know how to do it, I would just call sales managers and say, hey, I just came from this dealership. I'm looking at this car. Can you give me an offer? I'll give you all the details. And because you have to get at least 5 offers for you to see how much people are trying to overcharge you. Because if you've done it right, y'all, there's going to be a $3,000 to $5,000 swing between the best offer and the worst offer. At minimum, which means you're going to see some people that want $500 a month for the vehicle, and some people that's quoting you $650 a month for the same vehicle. They're going to be like, that's my best deal, $650. And you're going to be like, wow, there's another deal that's at $500. So all that thinking people was the same price, absolutely, no, they're not. No way. No way. Every dealer has a different price. Almost every dealer, unless they're owned by the same people and they're like price fixing, almost all of them have a different price that they're going to offer you. So the key is sorting for the best offer. I like to do it all online without speaking to anybody. If you want to do it manually, online requires you know what to say. Your dealerships are trained for people who are trying to get deals and trying to save money online. Online has been around since 2005, 6, 7. This isn't new. They've had chances to train people to make sure that they're not letting people just save thousands and thousands of dollars online. So they're going to make it hard, which is why we have to know what to say. If they say, hey, can we get you on the phone? Who's heard that? Who's heard that before when you try to shop online? Hey, can we just get your phone number and we can talk? It's a lot easier. Hit the like button if you've heard that. Or what about, as soon as you get on the phone with a dealership, y'all, what's the first question that they ask when they find out you're interested in a car? What's the first thing that they're going to ask you? Let's see. We got hundreds of people on here from every platform. What is the first question? Let me see how common and predictable this is. What does the dealership, from the moment you get on the phone with them, what are they asking you? Okay, I see. What's your credit score? Yep, they're gonna, yep. But I'm looking for, come in. Exactly. How have I, exactly. When can you come in? When can you come in? So we got to know what to say. We got to know. I have a response for all of that. Your response for that would be, hey, I'm actually doing all my shopping from home. I'm talking to a couple of local dealers to make sure I get the best offer. And then you always end with a question. Will you do you have what I'm looking for? Do you have the car that I'm looking for? We need to let them know what car we're looking for, and then we get the offer for it. But you have to be able to, every time somebody tries to get you to go back to shopping the old way, which is coming in, which is going back and forth with them, you have to continually stay on the game of, this is what I'm doing. I'm shopping from home. It's 2024. I can do that. Plenty of dealers are going to make it easy for me to do that. And that's what I'm doing. And and then you'll reveal. You'll see things about most dealers that are going to be like, wow, they're out of control. But you're also going to see the 20% of dealers who are the people you want to do business with. Honest people. They win. They don't mind competing. They don't mind beating their competition with a better price. This is who we deal with. Let's see. I'm not a car person. I like buying I like buying cars that'll last 10 years. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. I told you on the earlier hour when we talked, if you're buying a car, it should be long term. Nobody should be buying a car for a short term. You just shouldn't be doing it. You're losing too much money in depreciation and you're not getting that value back. You pay 15, 20 grand for a car, you're trying to get out of it in 3 years, 4 years. God forbid you pay more, 30 grand, 40 grand. You're not getting that. All that money you're paying, you're losing. You notice how you're never happy when they tell you what your car is worth? You're never happy. When the dealer says, look, yeah, well, your car is worth about 19. That's it? That's all. Man, are you kidding me? Why? Because you put all this money into the car and you're trying to get some back now. You know that car was 40 grand. You know you've been paying on it for years. You know all of this. So the reason why this is happening is because you don't understand leasing in the short term. But anytime you're purchasing, it should be long term. 8, 10 years. It's the only way you're going to make the money back. It's the only way somebody who's leasing is not killing you. Because people who are leasing, getting great lease deals, they're paying pennies for the cars that we drive. We're paying hundreds of dollars less than somebody who's buying every month. What's a good affordable car to buy less than 20 grand? This really depends. It depends on what you're going to need. First thing you got to assess is, what are your needs? Because the biggest thing you pay for is size. You pay for size. So the bigger the car you need, here's what y'all remember if money starts to get tight. If y'all are ever looking at a car and money's tight, I remember when I was at Mercedes, somebody would walk into the dealership, they're looking at an SUV, 3 rows, and they're like, oh, I got a big family. I got all these kids, I need the room, right? So then we start looking at the price and we see that the vehicle is out of their price range. And, even the best deal is still out of their price range. Now they go to make a decision and they're like, well, what about the smaller Mercedes truck? And they want to look at the one with 2 rows now. Now, the reason I stop them is because they're about to get a car that takes care of their wants, but not their needs. You told me you had 3 kids, you need 3 rows? Yeah, I really do, man. So 2 rows wouldn't work for you. So don't look at 2 rows. See, when we are getting cars, we can't take out stuff that is a need. And the biggest need is size. So you got to make sure. So I always tell you, get the smallest car you can buy. Because when you don't need a big car, you can save money by getting a small car. A Hyundai Elantra is less expensive than a Hyundai Sonata. Why? Because it's smaller. So the big SUVs, you could get a big, huge SUV, no leather, no nothing, no features, base engine. It's still going to be more than a maybe decked out version of a car. Why? Because it's bigger. So If you're building, don't go crazy with size. If you're rebuilding credit, don't go crazy with size. If budget is tight, get the smallest you can. Then you go to amenities. Go to amenities next. Leather. Do I need leather? Do I need all of these features? Do I need it to have all of this technology in it? You're paying for that. So so Alicia, you're asking what's the best way to get the best car under 20 grand? It depends on what car you need. If you tell me, Deshone, I need point A to point B transportation, well, there's a lot of cars you could get under 20 grand. If you tell me, Deshone, I need point A to point B transportation, but I need a 3-row SUV, well, now there's a few cars under 20 grand. If you tell me, Deshone, I need a big car with a big SUV and it has to have leather and it has to be all of this under 20 grand, then that's fewer cars. And then the other categories are besides size and amenities, we pay for power, we pay for class, and we pay for exclusivity. So if you say, Deshone, I need a big SUV and I want all the leather and all the features and I want the big engine in it, the 400, 500 horsepower engine, and I want to fund it. Well, there's even fewer options because you're not able to. You're building up everything that you pay for in a car. You checking everything. I want everything. So you got to know where to sacrifice. Some people, class is going to be your sacrifice. Watch this, Deshone. I could do a big SUV, but I want a Mercedes, or hey, I want a Lexus. That's different than Chevy. You could get a big SUV with leather, Chevrolet. That same SUV, same size with Mercedes is more money. Class. So you got to know what to take out. Last thing is exclusivity. I want a car nobody else has. You get taxed for that. You're going to pay a lot of money for that. I want the Hellcat, the Demon, whatever it is, whatever that I'm getting this vehicle, nobody has it. You pay for that. So when it's time, when you're searching, Alicia, you got to say to yourself, what are my needs? And then what are my wants? If my wants might be leather and all that. My needs is I need an SUV. My needs are I need something with a hatchback because I use the back of the truck. I need whatever. Because you don't want to go and get a vehicle that has a bunch of wants that you didn't need, and now you had to get an older one. $20,000 is a decent budget. But if you go trying to get every single thing that you could get in a car, and a big car, and leather, and fancy, and look, now you're going to end up getting one with 80, 90,000 miles, and it's going to not be, it's just going to be a bad, it's just, I don't want you to do that. I would prefer you not to do that. Not a good way. So assess your needs, get the smallest car you can, get what covers your needs. And if you need help purchasing it, you can use my videos. You can get my book. It's 75% off. Go to deshonesbook.com, download your copy right now, start using it. I'll teach you how to get the most for your money. That is what I do. Let's see. Shout out to everybody on it. We tied in. I love this. This is like we just now getting into streaming on multiple platforms. So we on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at once. I love it. I'm looking for a used Toyota. Could everybody share the broadcast? If you are not following me, if this is, your first time seeing me, I would invite you to follow if this is the type of stuff you're into. If you're into really, financial literacy, not everyone is, but if you are into, watching your money, protecting your money, making sure that all the money that's supposed to stay in your household stays in it, then definitely I welcome you to subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the sub button, and follow us on whatever social media platform you're on. Okay, I'm looking for a 7-seater, but want to pay less than $600 a month. So you start with now 7-seater. Now look at those other things that I mentioned. Do we need all those things? Because you could go 7-seater. You would say, what's the least expensive 7-seater out there? You would look at 7-seaters, in the 30. You look at them brand new, and you say, okay, can I afford a brand new one? If you're not keeping 8 years, you stretch your budget a lot more by learning how to get great lease deals. If you're not keeping 8 years and you're like, Deshone, I'm not leasing, you're losing money. It might take you a while to accept that, but I'm never going to stop saying it. So I'll be saying that until you get it or don't get it. And hopefully at some point you get it. Your children will get it. because most people are, children now in this generation are a little bit more open to questioning bad advice, and not leasing ever is some of the worst car advice that people have gotten. And if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you must learn how to get great lease deals, because you're going to save thousands of dollars. Like, so much more money is going to stay in your household. So what you would do is you need to decide whether you're going to lease or buy. That's always the first. My book is called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Car shopping, for people that hate car shopping, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. What's step one, y'all? Step one is lease or buy, because lease or buy is the foundation of our car deal. If you see this young lady here on that I'm showing on you can't see her on TikTok, but all other platforms you can see her. You can see she got a 54,000. Her name is Taupe. She's in our Cars from Home University group. We share all our car deals all around the country. She got a BMW i4 eDrive. It's a $54,000 vehicle, $54,750. Her best lease price on it was $690 a month. So y'all are aware, that same vehicle, if she purchased it with no money down, just like she did this, no money down, we're not talking about putting money down. That's a whole different. When you don't put money down, it's easy for you to judge your deals. Stop putting money. When you learn from me, you're going to stop judging your deals with money down, because the money down doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the deal. So to purchase this same exact vehicle that Taupe got, $54,000, that's an $1,100 a month car payment. Every $5,000, if y'all remember, is $100 a month. Every $5,000 you borrow. So if you're looking at a car that's $5,000, figure that's $100 a month for 5 years. If you're looking at a car that's $10,000, $200 a month for 5 years. $20,000, $400 a month for 5 years. Remember that rule. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. So for a $54,000 vehicle, her payment would be $1,100 a month. Yet she's leaving with a $690 payment. You see how hard it is for her to get in trouble? So this is why, if she had chose to purchase, let's just say she's working with me, she's reading my stuff, she's learning from me, and she said, Deshone, I'm not keeping my car, but I'm going to purchase. I know I'm not keeping the 8-year rule, but I'm not going to keep, but I'm going to purchase. Even if I helped her and showed her how to save thousands of dollars off this car, thank you, Evan, that is still going to be $1,000 a month, $1,100 a month with no money down. It doesn't matter. Like, she can go from 1,000 to, we saved $5,000 off the price of the car. Now you can go from 1,100 to 1,000. Doesn't matter. Now, if I was purchasing this car and I saved $5,000, okay, that's my best offer. That's good. But the reason why leasing versus buying must be the first step is because it's the foundation of affordability. $690 is the best lease price she got. The best purchase price will be nowhere near that. So if your deal is not on the right foundation, if you're not leasing when you should be leasing and purchasing when you should be purchasing, then there's no deal. There's no deal. You're overpaying. So that's the first step. All right, that's always the first step. Before you think about what you want to spend, you must decide, am I going to lease or purchase? And how you decide that is just ask yourself, am I going to keep the car 8 years or not? That's it. Okay, all in my book, by the way. Everybody who doesn't want to remember, Deshone, I don't want to have to worry about remembering this. Okay, then get your book, go to deshonesbook.com, get your 75% off. Let me know, make sure the price is showing 75% off, not the normal $97 price. You can scan the QR code. You could go to my Instagram bio, click that website. You can go to my TikTok bio, click that website, and you can download your copy if you want all the information in one spot. Soder said, can you do a simulation of how you would lease a Mazda CX-90? Well, I would figure out what I want. I'm going to check the car first. I'm going to check the car, go to Google, I'm assuming you're talking about, well, if he's leasing, he is talking about a new one because you can only lease a new car. Okay. The link, Evan, is in my TikTok bio. It's in my TikTok bio. So I'm going to hold on one second. Hold on. Let me get back on TikTok. Okay, so when we're leasing, if we don't have any other cars to sell, we don't have a lease that's coming due. If you have a lease that's coming due, we got to check our equity. But let's say we don't. Let's just say we want to lease a fresh car. We're going to check the car, check the initial quality, make sure it's not a bad car. There are some new cars out here that are horrible cars. So we're going to go to Google. And when we go to Google, we're going to type in the name of the car, and we're going to type in initial quality. As y'all come on to TikTok, could y'all just light up the lights, keep tapping the screen? I appreciate y'all running the lights up. Because y'all, again, we don't want to do little stuff that ruins our deal. Like I said earlier, if you save a lot of money on a purchase, but you didn't lease, had you leased, you would have saved $300 more a month. Then that wasn't a good deal. You messed up. Same thing if I get a great deal on a lease, but my car is always in the shop. Every 90 days, it's a problem with this car. What's up with it? That we don't want that. And these things can be avoided if you just go to Google and make sure you're not looking at a bad car. Okay. Now, once you do that, now you move on to the step of, all right, it's a good car, it checks out, we got to build it. We go and we build it out because we need to know all the features that come in the car. Sometimes some of y'all actually want a feature that you don't know is available in the car because you didn't go build it. But you got to go build it so that you can decide what you want in it, what you need. Wants versus needs are very important. Needs might be, I need the navigation. Wants might be, I want the big sunroof. I'm good with a regular sunroof too, but I want the big one. I could take the big one. Here's why this is important. When we reach out to dealers, now we're talking to them and we're letting them know what we can. We want dealers looking and saying, do I have any vehicles that match this? Okay, he's looking at a 2024 Mazda CX-5. He said, always give him all your color choices. He said he's open to black, white, or gray. Perfect. He said he wants this trim level, sport. And he said, okay, I must have the navigation. I'm good with a sunroof or I'm good with panorama sunroof. It doesn't matter. This is why this is important. When they hang up, when they look at that on the computer, they go and they look in their inventory and they see what they have and they're looking for a match. If you only gave them two limited options, if you only didn't pick out, now they like, hey, well, do you want the sunroof? Do you need the sunroof? So we got to give them everything we want. That's why we build that car out. And once we give them everything we want, we do this online. We literally, in my book, it's $24 at 75% off. You go download your copy, you'll see this is how I do it. I like to send you to the website because you don't have to talk to anybody. Who wants to save money without talking to anybody? Type a $ in the comment box. If you want to save money without talking to anybody, if you want to be able to say, man, I'm saving thousands of dollars, and who's a bad negotiator? Type bad in the comments. Be honest. If you consider yourself, if you be honest and say, I'm a bad negotiator, type me or type bad. This will work for you because you don't have to talk to anybody. Even if you're going to do what I said earlier, if y'all not going to use the book, if you're not going to get the book and use it, then you can call sales managers. That's going to take a little bit more time, and you got to remember what you want, and then you got to be telling them all the information they're going to need. They're going to need to know where you work at because they can't give you the rebates. They don't know if you qualify for any rebates until after they know where you work. They don't know whether you qualify for any rebate until until they know what cars we have in our household. Like I got an Infinity truck. Sometimes they'll give a rebate because you have a competitor brand. You get $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is. So everything, I have this template where you just fill this in. So when you're shopping for a lease or a new car, it has everything that you need there. This is what a dealer must know in order to give us an offer. Okay, could y'all keep lighting up the likes on TikTok, tapping the screen? I appreciate it. I see the likes going up, and I appreciate it. We letting them know, letting TikTok know we changing lives here. We want to set people free financially, but that's what's necessary. Like I'm letting them know what I want, and then I'm doing it with multiple dealers. In the book, I teach you something called the 25 to 5 strategy. That's something y'all gonna hear me talk about a lot. That's where we connect with 25 dealers to get 5 offers. 25 dealers to get 5 offers. And what you love about doing it this way is you don't really hear, oh, we don't have that color, or we don't have that. See, when you're talking to one dealer or 2 dealers, you're going to hear that. You're visiting one dealer or 2 dealers, oh, you know, we don't really have that color. No, we don't have the car exactly like you want it, right? Who's heard that? And then they'll tell you, oh, well, you know the supply is limited, and they'll tell you, hold on one second, y'all. So they'll tell you that inventory is limited. Yeah, they'll tell you that inventory is limited, but that's just because that's just the places you're shopping at is limited. The places you're shopping at is limited. When we shop out of 25 dealers, we're shopping out of 25 dealers inventory. So yeah, I'm talking to 2 of y'all. Maybe neither one of y'all have what I want. But when I'm talking to 25 of you, maybe 10 of you have what I want. That's why it's called the 25 to 5 strategy. You're going to connect with 25 dealers online, right at your computer, and that's going to lead to 5 offers. And when you see how different those offers are, you'll see why it's important to shop multiple offers. Those offers are going to be about $3,000 to $5,000 different from each other. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Look at there was a young lady who just got a Maserati and she saved $20,000 off the Maserati. She said her best offer was $20,000 off. Matter of fact, if y'all need to see that, just type Maserati. If y'all don't believe me, if you believe me, then we ain't got to do it. But if y'all want to see that, then I'll show y'all. She just got a Maserati 2 weeks ago. So imagine if she didn't shop multiple offers, she might have had one dealer taking off $3,000, thinking, oh, that seems like a good deal. Another dealer taking off $5,000. Oh, that seems like a good deal. You shop multiple offers and then you see where the bottom is. Oh, wait, hold on. They said they can't hear me on TikTok. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me? How are we on TikTok now? Let me know if y'all can hear me on TikTok before we keep it going. Thank you so much for the strategies and tactics. Absolutely. Look, one thing we're gonna do here is strategies. One thing we're gonna do here is strategy. I'm just trying to see if we're back on TikTok because my headphone had went off. The salesman I've been dealing with for the last few years, for the last few leases, just became a sales manager. Will he still work with me or will he push me off to a new salesperson? I would only get a quote from him. Hold on. Let me take this off. All right, how about now? Can y'all hear me now? Let me turn this Bluetooth off. Can y'all hear me now? Oh, it connected to my wife's headphones. All right, thank you. All right, good. Yeah, so if you've been dealing with a salesman, somebody said the salesman that they used to work with is now a sales manager. Will they still deal with you or will they push you off to a salesperson? The only role of a salesperson is to help you pick a car and then you go home and you get a quote from home. You get a quote from home. See, what's losing, if I could reduce it to a few activities that maybe you have been trained to do that lose you a lot of money, it's getting numbers in the dealership. It's getting numbers while you're at the dealership. If you're shopping for a new car, or if you're shopping for a new car or a lease, you should not be getting numbers at the dealership. If you're shopping for a used car, you should not be getting numbers at the dealership. All of this should be done at home, where you're in control, where you can get multiple offers. So if you go and you test drive that car, go test drive it. You could test drive it where you could call him if he used to be a salesperson, but you're only there for a test drive. You're only there to decide what you want. You're not there to buy what you want. I think you got to get that. When you are shopping for a new car, type the gems, type the diamonds, type the light emoji, because this is a gem that you can't forget. When you are there shopping for a lease or a new car, you are in the dealership to decide what you want. You are not in the dealership to buy what you want. Y'all get that? So once you've decided that you like something, now you're coming home and you're getting offers. That's how you stay in control. That's how you save money. That's the new way to car shop. Purchasing from home, getting offers from home, where you're in control, not sitting at a salesman's desk where they can give you a price and then you don't know where they're starting at. You don't know where the first price they gave you, you don't know if it was a good price. So, the salesman can say, all right, it's $700 a month. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Or, and then next thing you know, they get you down to 600 and you think that was a deal. Well, maybe they should have started at 600 and they were supposed to come down to 5. But they started at 7 and they came down to 6. There's no way for you to know this, especially with leases. But with any car, you should be doing, y'all are going to save more money than you've ever saved, easier shopping from home. I'm looking to lease, but I put 15,000 miles a year. That's nothing. 15,000 miles a year is slightly above average. Perfect. 25,000 miles a year wouldn't matter, because leasing isn't based on how much you're driving. I spoke about that on an earlier hour we did, where I was talking about how cars depreciate whether you buy them or lease them. You park a car outside, if it's worth $20,000 today, you go back a year later. You don't have to drive it 1 mile. Just go back a year later. Is that car worth $20,000 still? No, it's not. That's depreciation. That means you lost money. That means you lost value. That's real money. If you had a car that was worth 20 and then next year it's worth 17, you lost $3,000. That's facts. Doesn't matter whether you lease it or buy it. You pay for the usage of a car. Now, here's another kick. Let's say that same car that you got outside, you go and you drive it around this country. You put 10,000 miles on it a month, and you come back, and in a year, you got 120,000 miles on the car. It's worth even less now, right? Car is probably, if it was worth 20,000, maybe it's worth 8,000 now, right? But you own it. See, these are the people who say, oh, I like to drive as much as I want to drive. I don't want to pay for the mileage, so that's why I buy my cars. Never a reason to buy, because you lease. You're literally paying for the car. You're paying for the usage, whether you lease or buy. Here's the key: depreciation. What you're trying to avoid when you lease is taking all the depreciation hits that the owner takes when they buy a car. You lose 20% the first year, 15% the second year, 12%, 10%. You're losing value every year. Now, there comes a point in time, if those of you who keep cars a long time, where you go from losing 10%, you go from losing these high percentages every year to the point where if you keep your car long enough, you might only lose 5% a year. You might literally, the longer you keep a car, the less it depreciates later. But you have to get to the later. If you trade out of that car before you get to the later, you've lost. Because all that depreciation you just took, now you just replace the car and you go start over again. Don't do that. Trust me when I tell y'all. The more you understand leasing, and my entire step one is about leasing versus buying. In the book, everything I teach, get your book for 75% off. Make sure you get your 75% off, but you'll see step one is all about leasing versus buying because that's the most important part of going into a car transaction. Oh man, good to see you, Texas. How many years is later? How many years is later? Remind me what we were talking about. I know I was talking about doing something later or a long time ownership later. I don't know. Let me remind me what I was talking about. If you owe on the car what the car is worth, should you trade it in and lease? So that's a great question. If you could get out and break even and you're not keeping that car 8 years, then I would get out of it immediately because there's no benefit to me staying in it. The money that I'm going to pay for a great lease, as long as you know how to get a great lease deal, don't go from a daggone finance to either a regular lease deal or a bad lease deal. You don't want to do that. But once there's no benefit to me staying in a car that I'm not keeping, I could drive a lot better vehicle transitioning to a lease now because the vehicle is going to be brand new, and I'm going to have a better vehicle for my money. The money's going to be better. Whatever I'm paying for this used car or this car that I'm driving, it's going to be better when I lease. It's just going to be better. Again, the only people who should own are people who are planning to pay off their cars or people who are planning to keep their cars for a very long time, 10 years. That's who should be owning. And the people who are owning, who are thinking about keeping cars for a long time, you ain't thinking about replacing that car. You ain't thinking about when to replace it. You ain't thinking about should I replace it. You thinking about, okay, I'm gonna pay this thing off and then this is my car. So if you are thinking about should I trade this car in and lease now, it's probably because you're a lease person. You're not keeping your cars 8 years and you should be leasing anyway. So in that case, there's no benefit to you waiting. There's just no benefit to you waiting unless you have negative equity. In the book, I talk about negative equity. Some of you're going to have too much negative equity. You're not going to be able to transition to a lease yet. You're going to have to pay down some of the negative equity. I've had me a car 14 years now. I'm looking for a new one. There you go. Listen, definitely, that's how you get your money out of a car. 14 years, great money out of a car. I don't know if you're going to do that again. If that's your goal again, if it is, then you purchase. Oh, somebody going to comment Maserati. Want to see that Maserati deal? Hold on. Let me get it. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, she said 20. Listen, the money I be talking about, I don't talk about small money. I don't talk about small money, y'all. We are not only the only small money that we've talked about so far is the price of my book at 75% off. Like that's small money. It was actually inexpensive to begin with. I wasn't gonna make the book super expensive to begin with, but at 75% off, to download your copy now of my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, get it for 75% off now. Go to my TikTok bio. You're not gonna leave the broadcast, so you won't get kicked out. Go to my TikTok bio or go to my Instagram bio, click the picture of me, and you'll see a website there. When you click that website, you'll be able to get yours for 75% off. And you'll have everything that I teach in one spot so that you can use this stuff. Thank you, Paul. And so that you can see how much money you're going to save when you just start shopping different and when you know where the hidden money is in your car deals. All right, so this was March 3rd. Hold on, I had to download Kimberly's picture. So check this out. Yeah. You can't see, you guys can't see it on TikTok, but I'm showing a picture on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. This is Kimberly. Kimberly on March 3rd, not even 2 weeks ago. She picked up her Maserati. She's in our Cars from Home University. We have a video library. So we have everything I teach is available in two forms. One is the book. It's a book. It's a digital book. And then we have a video library. Now, inside the book, I link you to some of the videos in the video library. So there's probably 5 times throughout the book where I say, here, click here to watch this video where I explain it. So these are, 3-minute, 5-minute videos. So this is what she posted. She got her Maserati. Her MSRP was $91,700. She her payment's $944 a month, which is crazy. That's an $1,800 car payment. $91,000, an $1,800 car payment on a 5-year loan, maybe 16 on a 6-year loan. Oh, it's crazy. She's paying $944. And where is let me see, where is she said I got offers. Look, 7 competitive offers. This is why it's important. This is what I was telling y'all about these multiple offers. Why does it always kick me out of Instagram? That's so weird. I always get kicked out of Instagram. I don't know if Instagram has a time limit or something. I got to see why that always happens. All right, so you can see that her offers were from 1% to 1.8%. And oh no, I know what it is. Hold on, I got to go to her other post. It was her other post where she posted the actual deal sheet. Hold on, watch this. There we go. No, it wasn't her post when she picked up the car. Here it is. So she has this great offer, and she comes in our Facebook group. She's like, "Okay, how do I lock this thing up? Check this out." All right, and these are the same deals you will make. Like, you don't have to, no matter what your car you're shopping, what car you're shopping for, you'll get to the bottom. You'll know what the bottom is for it. Check this out. So here it is, 91,000. This was a competing offer. This was her best offer before her true best offer, because the dealer that ended up making her this offer didn't win the business. The dealer that was closer to her said, well, I'll beat that offer. And that's the one she ended up going with. But this one right here had an $86,961 MSRP. And look, the selling price that she got, $66,261. She's sitting at home comfortable, y'all. Talking to multiple dealers, sitting at home comfortable while dealers are bidding for her business. She's sitting up here. She said there are people that were the same time Kimberly was out here shopping for that Maserati. There's other people all around the country who are shopping for that same Maserati, and they're literally in the dealership trying to, hey, come on, man. Can you take off a couple more dollars? Come on, man. Yo, I'm already taking off 5,000 for you. Come on, man. Can you do, come on. So what if you do 7? Can we do 7? Can we do 10? Meanwhile, Kimberly's saving 20 grand while she's at home. Why? Because you have leverage. She's in control. When you use what's in my book, when you use what you're going to learn from watching my videos, you will see I want you shopping with leverage and control, where you can see all these offers while you sit at home and they're bidding for your business. It's hard to make a mistake when you're sitting at home in your living room. It's hard to make a bad choice. It's hard to say the wrong thing when you're not talking to anybody. So the key is learning how to shop online properly. That's what I'm here to make sure you do. I know some of you have tried to shop online, but there's a right way and there's a wrong way. The right way gets you those kind of results. I like this, man. Thank you so much, Good Time. Yeah, IG is weird, and you get kicked out if they don't know who you are. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I got to look into that. So I'm trying to pay $287 a month. You just got to see, what does $287 a month get me? $287 a month is probably about a $13,000 loan for 5 years. Maybe about a $15,000 loan for 6 years. Maybe about a 15,000 depending on interest rate. So the question always, it's not just what we want to pay. What can we get for what we want to pay? We got to explore it. And you need to know whether you're leasing or purchasing. That continues to be skipped. That's step one. And this answer is, are you keeping the next car 8 years or not? If you call me and said, Deshone, I'm car shopping, man. I would love your help. I want to do things the way you say do it. What's my first step? How long you keeping the car? How many years? I'm gonna keep it for about 5. All right, we leasing. Okay, perfect. What's our next step? And so on and so forth. You must have the first step handled. Leasing versus buying is step 1. It's not step 3. It's not step 2. It's step 1. If you go off the purchase and you should be leasing, you're done. You lose. Don't matter how much money you save, you lose. Because you're losing you lose. So you must know that. It's the car I want. I'm willing to keep it. Great. So then we go and we get do you have a car to sell? Step 2 in the book, equity assessment. This is where we have to take, who's traded a car in before? Type T if you've traded a car in before. If you've traded a car in before, type T. Trade it. All right. A lot of you have. I'm going to tell you something that may be shocking, right? But it's absolutely a fact. You learn it from me. If you use what I'm telling you, you'll probably never trade a car in again. Deshone, what do you mean? We never trade cars in? I'm gonna tell you why. We use a bidding system. We don't trade our cars, we sell them. We sell them to cash buyers who can look at the car and write a check immediately. These are our Carvanas of the world. These are our Driveways. These are our CarMaxes. These are our Auto Nations. These are Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. This is the equity assessment. A lot of times we're losing money in so many places. It's like money leaking out of our car deals in so many places. This is another one of them. We are not trading our car in because, let me ask you a question. When have you ever got the most something was worth trading it? When have you ever, we've never traded anything and gotten the most it was worth, right? We literally, if I sit here and I say, hey, I'll trade you this phone for your bike, one of us is taking a loss. I'm either not getting the max that I could get for this phone, or you not getting the max you could get for the bike. See, so trading in our system, which is a bidding system, we get bids from buyers. When we're ready to buy our new car, we get bids from dealerships. The chances of a dealership winning the bid because they're going to sell us the car we want lower than every other dealership, and winning the bid to buy our old car is almost impossible. It's almost impossible. So you're going to not just beat every dealership that's selling the same product as you, but you're also going to beat all the online buyers that are trying to buy cars, the Carvanas, the people I just mentioned. You're beating them too? Oh, you're going to be out of business soon. They can't burn the candle from both ends. So what we do, this is called timing our transaction. We're going to sell to the highest bidder. We're going to buy from the lowest bidder. So what we've had many times is we've had people who go pick up their brand new car from the dealer who won the bid. And then after that, they go drop off their old car at CarMax and get their check. Or they do the old car first and then go pick up the new car. because they're giving me 2,000 or 3,000 more than a dealer would have given me on trade. I'm going to go get my $3,000 more here, and then I'll come and I'll buy the car from you. This is how we maximize the transactions, y'all. This is how we make sure at the end of the transaction, we haven't left any money out of it. We have to get bids for every part of it. We talked earlier in the broadcast about getting bids from banks. If you just missed it, if you just hopped on, you missed me talking about the bank bidding war, the process that the credit bureaus allow us to shop our rates within a 45-day period, an unlimited amount of times, and at the end of that period, it only weighs on our score like one hard inquiry. This is, y'all got to use this. Until you use this, you ain't seeing the real money. Until you actually use what I'm telling y'all, you haven't seen the real money yet. You haven't seen the real money in the car deal. You haven't seen how overpriced some dealers are. So you have to use this in order to see how much money is in these processes. But that's how much you're giving to banks by not shopping them, by just saying, oh, that's my bank. I'm going to go with my credit union. And then not shopping them, not giving them an offer, not letting someone else get a chance to bid against them. That's a mistake. You're not my friend. Listen, ladies, gentlemen, these banks aren't our friends. These banks wouldn't do business with us if they didn't make money on us. They're not our friend. Oh, I've been banking there for years. They love me. They don't love you. They love the money they make on us. So we have to be as diligent as they are. I'm going to see if you're giving me you're giving me 6.29. Let me see who can beat it. All right, I'm glad. Yeah, I've been doing business with y'all. I love y'all. But if somebody else could give me a rate that's half a point less than you, or a point less than you, or 2 points, then I will be giving them that business. Why would I pay you an extra $1,000 in interest? No. So we get bids for everything. And that's how we guarantee that we save the money we're saving. That's how we're able to do this. Can't lose when you're getting bids. We commit to them, but they don't commit to us. Oh, absolutely. Well said. Absolutely. They don't commit to us. They are committed to, they don't even want us shopping their competition. No, none of these banks, dealerships, they don't want us shopping their competition, because that's when we save money. We save money when we shop competition, and we save it easier. Shopping competition is the easiest way to save when you're doing it right, like I'm telling you to do it. It's the easiest way to save. You forget negotiating, forget, oh, take off another 1,000, no. Listen, I'll call you back. I'm going to get a couple more offers if you're talking to them. If you're using what's in my book, you ain't talking to nobody, because my scripts is in there. I cannot tell you everything to say and you remember it here on a broadcast. But inside my book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, Avoiding Dealerships, you have all my scripts, you have all my templates, all the websites I use, because I want you to go direct to the dealer's websites. I don't want you going to a third-party website that's going to sell your information. We also always get a Google Voice. That's in there too. You want to get a Google Voice number, and you want to get another Gmail. This is going to be your shopping email. Sean, we're going to have a shopping email. You're going to get a shopping email, because when you see how we contact dealers and how we look at our deals, you're going to see we can't have all of these dealers in our personal inbox. Now we looking through our daggone work emails and then our personal emails, and now we got some car emails in here, and no, it's a mess. We can't win like that. So we always set up a personal shopping email, a Google Voice number, so we can screen calls, so that dealers aren't, who's been at work or somewhere, and they pick up their phone and, hey, this is Alan from over at ABC Jeep Dodge. You were here the other day. I'm just calling to check in. I can't really talk right now. We don't get those calls. When you set up a Google Voice, I don't want no secret calls, no pop-up calls from car salesmen. We are here to shop online, and we are here to shop online by not saying anything. The more we say, the less we save. Remember that. We're gonna brand that one. Okay? The more we say, the less we save. Doesn't matter what time of the month you shop. No, I talked earlier about the 2 dates inside the book and you know, on my videos, you'll hear me talk about the 2 dates. 2 most important dates you must know when you're shopping for a car is what's my as soon as date. That's the date I can make a deal. You're not in the market. Don't even look at cars. Don't get offers. Don't look at deals. Don't have somebody work you up a deal until you can accept it. Now, you might say, Deshone, well, that's tomorrow. Like, I could accept a deal today. Perfect. That's your no later. I mean, that's your as soon as date. Now, your next date is your no later than date. That's the deadline. That's like, Deshone, I go back to work on, you know, June 1st. I got to have a car by May 31st. Perfect. That's your no later than date. Now, in between those 2 dates is your shopping timeline. That could be a month, that could be a year, could be a week, but that's the timeline we have to watch offers and say no. And say no. You want to be able to watch offers because offers change. You know, when I was shopping for my Infiniti truck, pre-owned one, I saw the price trends. One of the things that I'm going to show you when you learn to shop used cars the way I want you to shop, you're going to see the price trends. You're going to see the low side of the market and the high side. I noticed the low side of that market is 22,000 and the high side is 31,000. So now I'm looking because our goal is to buy, remember this, y'all, below market value. Forget market value. These words that people use are expensive words. I'm never interested in market value. The only time I'm interested in market value is knowing it so I can make sure I'm buying below it. You see what I'm saying? You don't want market value. You want below market value. And so that's when we're shopping for a used car, we're looking at those things. I'm showing you first when we open up the marketplaces, how to see the low side of the market and the high side so we can identify the low and we can make sure that everything we're targeting is the low. Didn't realize I was in a live stream. Not looking to purchase a car right now. Awesome. Well, we'll be here. Listen, this is a mission we are on, and we've been on this mission heavy since 2021. And you know, I mean, thank God we've built up, you know, 2 million followers over all these platforms. You guys continue to follow. You guys continue to subscribe. You continue to engage. And you continue to get value out of the information. What I hold myself accountable to is the results you get. I don't care. Everyone knows I could get car deals. I'm not sitting here on no live to convince y'all I could get car deals. Everybody's probably like, man, this guy looks like he knows how to get car deals. I'm concerned with you. I'm concerned with people like who use what I teach. And once I saw that people who use what I teach to get the same results, look, this is Vincent. Vincent got a 3-year-old Lincoln Corsair. He got it back in January. Less than 45,000 miles, clean Carfax. We'll talk in future broadcasts about how we get free Carfaxes, what's on the Carfax. You'll see that many times the Carfax has the window sticker. Carfax has the original window sticker for certain brands. And we use that original window sticker to see all the equipment that's in the car and to see what the real price is. We need to know, one of the most important things on a used car, y'all, we got to know what was the original price. I bought that pre-owned Infiniti truck. They were asking 31 for it, but it was another one that was asking about the same price, and they looked the same. When I pulled the original window sticker, I saw that this one I ended up getting was 54 originally, 54,000 and change. It's like an edition 30. It has all the special trims on it, has special rims, everything. And then the other one was a standard one. It was like $48,000 one. So once I saw all of them and I saw, wait, this one's 48 brand new, this one was 46 brand new, but this one's 54 and change. Y'all see how that helped me identify that was the best deal? See, and many times, I'm just being honest with you, if this car was 32 and the other similar car was 31, many of you would have picked the 31 because you'd have said, oh, it's 1,000 less. But you don't realize it's 1,000 less, but that one that's 1,000 more gets me $6,000 more of equipment. That's why knowing the original price of the car is critical. You can't choose the right car without seeing that. So this is what we do. And you see what he said. Look, he said, going back to Vincent's post here of his Lincoln he got, he said, my goal, I was targeting a 30 to 35% off discount of MSRP. You see how he talks different? See how he sound like me? Shopping for a pre-owned car, but what is he looking at? I'm targeting this much discount off original MSRP. See, this is not how we've been taught to shop. Pre-owned cars, we must know what it costs originally. I don't care what you're asking for it. I don't care what the market value is for it. What was it originally? And that's going to tell me how much discount I'm getting. 2020, 2022, 2020, all through the pandemic, unfortunately, people were buying used cars, paying the same price as the car when it was new. People were buying Toyota Camrys for $29,000 that was $20,000 brand new. Had they known this, hey, I need to know, what was this car originally priced at? Well, it was 29. Wait a minute, and you're asking 29? See, we call this true value. In the book, I call this the true value percentage. You must know it. He ended up getting a 43% discount. So that's how you want to shop. For you, these, of course I could get great car deals. But y'all, this ain't rocket science. When you learn to shop from home, when you learn to look at multiple options, when you learn to put dealers against each other, when you learn to put banks against each other, you're going to sit at home and you're going to save thousands of dollars. You know why? That's how you buy everything else. We could sit here online and we could buy TVs on Walmart.com, on Amazon.com. We know we going to pay the best? We going to get the best deal because we know I'm going to look at all these options and I'm going to pick the best one. But only with a car do we go into one place and go back and forth with one guy. You get what I'm saying? If you think about it, it doesn't even make sense, right? It doesn't even make sense the way we car shop, because the way you car shop is not like the way you shop for anything else in this world. And all I want you to do is stop shopping like that. That's all I want y'all to do. Stop shopping like that. And here's the next thing. Start shopping for cars the way you shop for everything else in this world. And you're going to be, oh, man, you know what? When I shop for cars this way, Deshone, it feels like when I shop for groceries. It feels like when I shop for other things. I'm comparing correct. And you're going to love it. I promise you. We got enough people that have started using what we teach. We've been doing this for 2.5 years now to see the transformation is incredible. People just like, man, I can't believe I never knew that this existed. So I compare oatmeal. Exactly, Dave. Listen, everything. You get what I'm saying? We literally have price confidence by comparison. You know what? And look, y'all will see these Carvana commercials, right? Y'all ever see the Carvana commercials that says we have 50,000 cars for you to choose from? Y'all ever see those commercials? You could choose from 50,000 cars, right? I'm gonna tell you what that is and why you never fall for that. They're trying to win your business based on variety. But variety does not drive down prices. Competition drives down prices. So whenever you hear, we have 50,000 cars for you to choose from, here's what I want you to think of. If you walked into the Dorito factory and you were able to see every single flavor of Dorito they make, we have 200 flavors. I didn't even know y'all had 200 flavors. Yeah, like we don't have them all in store, but in the factory, we have 200 different flavors of Doritos. Really, that's amazing. They're all $7.99 a bag. Wait, how do you mean? Wait, if I go to the store, the Doritos are $3.99. They're $2.99. Yeah, but not here. Because there's no competition. There is no Lay's. There is no, Hers. It's only Doritos here. So whenever you're looking at variety from one company, there's no competition. They're not competing with themselves. So every way they price their car, they don't mind you looking around. Take a look. We got so many cars to choose from. You'll find something. But everything that you find is not competitively priced. The only way we're competing is when we know we're shopping, when you're about to go visit someone else. You're about to go see someone else. That same blue Camry that you want here, you're about to go look at another blue Camry somewhere else. You should be doing all of this online, never in person. So this is what drives down prices, y'all. Never variety. Forget these dealers that say, "Oh, I got 10,000 cars." Does not matter. In order for me to make sure that I'm paying thousands less, I must shop your competition. I don't care about your variety. When I shop your competition, I'll find the best offer. And it's going to get easy. It's going to get very easy for y'all. So, all right. So let's do a couple more questions and we'll get ready to wrap. Deshonsbook.com for everybody. It's just somebody confirm that we are showing the 75% off price. Sometimes I get a message that is showing the full price. Make sure you could get your 75% off. Scan the QR code. Everything that I teach is in my book. We just put it out. 75% off is the book launch special. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book. You could download it and use it right now. And if you're on TikTok or Instagram, you could just go to my Instagram bio or my TikTok bio. Okay, thank you, Camry. Shows 75% off. All right, perfect. Went to 7 dealerships before I found the price in the car for my daughter. Wonderful. My wife was mad at me. Now, that's because that sucks. And the time that you put into that, I get it. But to save money, I don't blame you. If you got to what you needed, it was worth it. But I want you to get to the point where you could do this from home. You could have did it with phone calls. If you use my way in the book, we do everything online through computers. But I rather you not drive to place. That's just, it's just, you don't have to do it. If you had to do it to get multiple offers, then I would tell you, man, you got to drive to multiple places, but you don't have to. You can do this by phone, ask for a sales manager, or if you don't want to talk to anybody at all, you can use my way in my book where we do it all by computers. I'll tell you exactly what to say, what to type, what they're going to say. You got all the responses. Everything is scripted out for you. DMV good, and they treat you like gold when car goes in for service. Oh, I didn't see. Okay, I missed that. How much does credit really matter? Credit profile matters. If you're looking for a car loan, it's not always score though. It's more profile. So I always say if you have a car payment that you're paying, sometimes the world could be crashing down around you. You got late credit cards, but if the bank sees you've been paying your car payment on time, they'll sometimes give you the loan. They'll sometimes approve the lease. So, some people might have a lower credit score and the, low 6s, but they have a solid payment history on their cars and they get approved. Another thing is if you have a high score, sometimes you don't need, score and payment history are probably the 2 biggest indicators. Payment history being what I just talked about, and score being score. Because those 2 things weigh heavily on the decision. Now, then you have things under that. You have things like your job. How long have you been on the job? How is it a new job? Is it you self-employed or are you employed, with a company? Have you filed your tax returns so that you can have proof of income? Because all of this comes into account with your profile. So if you have a strong credit score, sometimes you could get away with not having a previous car loan. If you have a strong credit score but you have a previous car loan but you don't have proof of income, sometimes that's okay because your credit score is strong. Now if your credit score is not strong, then you want to have these other things in line, proof of income. So when you look at, how long I've been living here, what I do for a living, credit score, income, the amount of money you make, that's a part of the profile. Somebody that makes $36,000, compared to somebody that makes $300,000, that's a different profile. So those are the three things that matter. But if I would, I mean, those are the things that matter. But if I was to tell you to work on any one thing, it would be your credit score. It would be get with Shonda Martin. Shonda Martin's on every social media platform that y'all are on right now. Shonda Martin. Her page is called Road to 750 Plus. And then just follow what she teaches and you know, I mean, the stuff that she's taught me, I've used. It's raised my credit score at least 80 points. Just the things she knows about credit that, you know, just go follow her. But yeah, it's about profile more than just score. It's about profile. Should a person get extended warranty on a vehicle? If a vehicle has high repairs, high cost of repairs, expensive parts, then certainly. But you want to make sure you're getting a quality extended warranty. I will get it from the manufacturer. If you're buying from an aftermarket company, I talk about this in my book too. You better be looking at tons of reviews. These companies go out of business a lot. You don't want to have a contract with a company that's going out of business. You got to be careful. And I would try to avoid buying from an aftermarket company unless they have just hundreds and hundreds of reviews, lots of high ratings, and they've been around for a long time. But yeah, if a vehicle doesn't have a lot of high cost of ownership and repairs, then I wouldn't get the warranty. If it's something that is very easy or inexpensive to maintain, I wouldn't get a warranty for it. How to avoid as is lemons. You want to make sure you're checking the history of the car. 4 things we check when we're buying a pre-owned car: title. What's the type of title? Is it a rental? Is it a ex-loaner car? Is it a salvage title? Is it frame damage? Total lost vehicle? You know, that's the first thing. Then we go down to accident history. We go to service records. Service records are a huge indicator. Any used car you get, y'all, I'm never going to recommend you buy a used car without teaching you how to look at service records and make sure that the previous owner or owners took care of the car. Third thing is accident history. And then what we're going to do before we do all of this, we're going to check the car online, and we're going to type in. I do something called a reliability and a longevity check. That takes 3 minutes. We go right to Google. We type in the year, make, model, reliability, the year, make, model, longevity, and that's going to tell us if there's transmission issues at 80,000 miles. We'll see it on there. We'll see it in one of these websites. If there's head gaskets issues, if there's electrical issues, we'll see it. So those 4 things that I just told you to do, boundaries. See, you protect yourself by having boundaries. I want you to use those boundaries, and you're going to find, does it prevent the possibility of you ever having a limit or getting a limit? No, it doesn't. Does it dramatically reduce it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that's all we can do. There are no guarantees in life. What I want you to do is have a plan that allows you to protect yourself. And then, in the worst case scenario, something bad happens, this was just a bad event. But it wasn't an event because I didn't know what I was doing. It's not something that happened because I bought a bad car, or I bought a car over my budget, or I bought a car that didn't have a quality history. That's why I'm having problems with this thing. So that's what you're saying now. If some of you may be experiencing that now. Dag, if I would have knew all of this about how to make sure I got a good car, how to make sure that I got the right price, I wouldn't be in this issue. That's what you're saying now. But I want you to be on the opposite side of that. And just knowing what to do will put you on that. So just follow those steps. If you follow those steps, you're good. You don't have to worry about getting a limit. What fees not to pay for? Well, on a purchase, we only pay taxes, documentation fee, and taxes, documentation fee, and motor vehicle fees. On a purchase, that's all we're going to pay. Now, there is a destination charge for new cars that comes on the window sticker. That's to get the car from the factory where it's built to the dealership. So that's built into the price of the car. But those are the real fees. When we get into leasing, you got acquisition fee that's built in. We don't pay attention to fees when we lease because we're comparing percentages. What I teach you how to do, this is all in the book, by the way. Everybody who got their book, shout out to you. DeshonesBook.com. Get your 75% offer. Download my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's all in there. When you are hold on. Okay. So sometimes I read the comments at the same time I'm talking and I forget what I was saying because we just going from subject to subject. So it was somebody asking about lease, what fees not to pay. That's what it is. Yeah, when we are shopping for a lease, we are comparing percentages. So how we compare lease offers, first month's payment divided into the MSRP. So we are shopping and we're looking at quotes just like this. $450 a month, $45,000 MSRP. $490 a month, $40,000 MSRP. $500 a month, $51,000 MSRP. That's how we get our lease quotes. No money down. We're literally just showing that's literally first month's payment only out of pocket, right? So when we divide those payments into the MSRP, we get a percentage. And that's where the 1% rule came from. The 1% rule has been around for decades. It's if you leased a car for 1% of the MSRP or less, it was a steal. There was no need to question the deal. Like, get out of there before they change their mind. You stole the car. Now, I found that we knew about the 1% rule, but there was no rule for bad lease deals because I watched people as I made videos and I watched people saying, yeah, Deshone, I'm leasing, but I saw people getting leases that were trash, overpaying for leases, which defeats the whole purpose of a lease. If you overpay for it, you might as well should have not have did it. Now, I'm like, we got to come up with a barrier. We got to come up with a boundary to where if your lease is above this, you paid too much for it. That is a bad lease program. You should not be leasing a car paying that much over 3 years. And that's where the 1.5% rule came from. When you add up all the payments, you'll see you're paying X percentage of the car. And when you go higher than that, it's too much money for a car we're giving back. Some people are paying more for their lease than they would have paid naturally just buying the car and letting it depreciate, just because they don't understand that. So that's where the 1.5% rule came from. Does the 1% rule apply with these current interest rates? KM, let me show you some. You can't see it because you're not on TikTok, you're not on Instagram. If you were on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, you would see what I'm sharing right now. Somebody just asked, does the 1% rule apply? And they've been asking, y'all been asking me that really since I started talking about it. Y'all been asking me, does the 1.5% rule? We do this. This is Greg. Got his vehicle in February. The vehicle is $56,275. It is a Kia EV6 Wind with the tech package. His payment is $527 a month. So before this and before you saw, here's Kimberly. Kimberly's vehicle is $91,761. Her Maserati. Her lease payment is $944 a month. 1.09%. Now, out of all of my members, we have probably 1,400 members, 1,500 in Cars from Home University. These two have gotten the best leases because the program was there. In order to have a lease be a 1% or in the low 1%, you got to have an incredible lease program. We don't know what it's going to be. She didn't know it was going to be a 1% lease before she shopped it. Greg didn't know it was going to be 1%. We go in saying if I could get 1.2%, 1.25, that's good value. You're gonna see that's what I teach in the book. I go in if I could get 1.25, that's good value. Up to 1.5 is still good value. But in order, we don't know what it's going to be until we shop. Some people are getting 1.2, some people are getting 1.1. But when you got a dealer that's giving you a huge discount, like Kimberly got, you got a good lease program on the 2023, which she got, and she got, it all things. In order to leave with your best lease deal, you need a huge discount from the dealer. You need them to discount the car the most they can. If they have any rebates, you need them to give them to you, and then you need them to make sure they're not marking up the money factor. And then you that's what comes into a lease. And there's no way for you to get this unless you're shopping competitively. She never saved 20 grand without shopping competitively. So yes, the deals are out here. They've been out here. We've been making deals all through the pandemic, y'all. The deals are out here now. But for those of you who don't want to shop the new way, you want to stay in that old way of shopping, that one-to-one way of shopping. Nah, ain't no deals out here. Ain't no deals out here. It's nothing out here. Everything's overpriced. 1% of MSRP. Yep, you got it. 1% of MSRP. And that's been around for years. The 1% rule has been around for years. All right, so there we have it, y'all. We went over a lot. I'll be back for another hour very soon. If you're on our email list or if you're subscribed to our channels, you will get notifications of when we go live so you can hop on. Everybody who's shopping for a car, I want to make sure that I'm with you to make sure you have the guidance, to make sure you know the strategies, know where the hidden money is, and you save all the money that you're supposed to save, every dime of it. So you can get my book for $24. That's 75% off for our launch. Just came out. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can click on see that picture of me on the top of TikTok. Click that. If you're on Instagram, click that picture of me on the top and click that website at the top of my profile. And you'll see a link there that says 75% off my new book. Get your copy, use it, so that way you don't have to remember or try to remember everything that we just went over. Because I know some of you are like, Deshone, man, we just went from a lot of subjects. We're answering all types of questions. If you don't want to remember that, you can have it right in your hand at 75% off. Or you can go to deshonesbook.com or just scan the QR code and get your 75% off. So always a pleasure. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna show you this. And Rain, let me show you this before you leave, before I jump off. You can't even see it, Rain. If you go to any of these other platforms and you watch the replay, you'll see it. She said, I can't tell if it's a man or, oh, no, it's a guy. He said, I've been trying to get a Telluride for years, but the markups are crazy. Let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this right now. And this is what I tell y'all when I say that to those who are shopping the old way, to those with old strategy or no strategy, ain't no deals out here. But to those who are like, Deshone, I want to learn, I want to use this way to shop, oh, deals are out there. Deals are out here. I'm just going to snatch a couple people I could find that I know have gotten Tellurides, and I want to see. I want you to see what they're paying. Hold on. So this is a $54,000 MSRP. Hold on. Okay, this is Bonita. So this is Bonita. Now, here's what's crazy about Bonita. She got her Telluride middle of the pandemic. See, we were out here getting these deals when it was blood in the street. Look, hold on. I had to go to the Facebook group, snatch the screenshot, find it, snatch the screenshot, and then come back here and show y'all. So this is Bonita's. She got this. Look at the date. She posted it when she got it. 2023 Kia Telluride. She got it December 2022. $600 a month. And look, I put down 600, and her payments was 600 a month. At the same time, there were people paying $800, $900, $1,000 a month for a Telluride. She drove off with $600. Same thing with the Palisade. Somebody just got a Palisade. Those are two nice vehicles. They're two popular vehicles, and what that means is there were several people charging crazy money for people who wanted to get them. Here's one right here. I'm gonna show y'all this deal on the Palisade. Like, this is why, see, I get to work with hundreds of people in Cars from Home University, my video library. I get to work with them. I get to see the deals. So whenever people tell me there's no deals, they don't know. Y'all, I'm seeing deals. My members, they post their deals 2-3 times a week. Sometimes I'm seeing different deals from every part of the country. So when people say there's no deals, it's just you don't know how to get them. And if you will be humble and say, man, I don't know how to get deals. I don't know how to find deals. I need to learn how to get them, then you'll be fine. But don't say there's no deals out here, because now you're just closing yourself off. Here's another. This is Charles. Look at the date. March 1st. Got a Hyundai Palisade. Look, 35 dealers. I told y'all what I teach y'all. 25 to 5. 25 dealers get you 5 quotes. Charles went a little further. He connected with 35. That must mean the way I teach you to connect with them is easy. If he went from 25 to 35 like that, that must mean the way I teach you to connect with these dealers is easy, when he could just bump it up to another 10. But look, the offers he got ranged from, look, I reached out to 35 Hyundai dealers and got back 10 quotes. The offers range from 1.23 to 1.66%. That's what I'm telling y'all about how different the offers are going to be. I see you. Thank you, AquaWorks. You're going to enjoy that book. Use it. So when you've gotten your offers correctly, you see the spread. You've never gotten your offers correctly if you say, oh, I got 5 offers, they're all the same. Every dealer is different. You know you've shot correctly when you see this spread like Charles is laying out right here. 1.23% to 1.66% of MSRP. I'm a high mileage driver, so he was price conscious. After counter offering, which is what I teach. In fact, I have in the book a calculator that I invented that you put your offers in to it, and it spits out the counter offer that you're going to email to the dealer. So you cannot close a deal without a counter. We just do this without talking. See, nobody ever said you had to counter verbally, but we counter by email. Look, I never thought I'd be able to afford a car that's almost $50,000. Look at this. $597 a month. MSRP was $48,595 on his Hyundai Palisade. His quote was $597 a month. Y'all, do y'all realize Hyundai Palisades, people out here buying them right now, $48,000 vehicles. Y'all realize with taxes and fees, that's about $1,000 a month payment for 5 years, $900 payment a month for 6 years. He's paying $597. All in my book. This is what I want you to learn. I want you to learn how to shop this way. This is what I'm talking about in these live streams. This is what I'm talking about in my book. This is what I'm talking about in all my videos that I post. It's learning to shop this way. Okay? Competitively, putting dealers against each other, making them bid for your business. You're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars way easier. So get your book. I just wanted to show y'all that because he had mentioned the Telluride. So I said, let me pull up a Telluride deal. Let me pull up a Palisade deal to show you whatever car you think, yo, it's no deals out there. They're telling you that. We getting them all. We getting them all. Doesn't matter. Luxury cars. I had Crystal just got her Porsche Macan. She said, Deshone, dealers were charging me the same price that I'm paying now to that I'm leaving with. I forget how she said it. She said, before I came in, they were charging me that to lease. I think they were charging her $1,300 a month on her Porsche. And she ended up coming in and getting it for like 9 something. All stuff you'll see. You know, I just don't want to keep pulling these, but as this is what we do. I would take y'all into one day when I come on live, I'll take you straight into our Facebook group where we share all of these deals and just show y'all just a bunch of deals. Like, they're everywhere. So if you're on TikTok, go to my TikTok bio, get your book while it's 75% off. If you're watching this, then the 75% off should still be active. Just go click my TikTok bio, click that website in my TikTok bio, click the website in my Instagram bio, and get your copy. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, just scan the QR code on the screen. Let me put it back up. Or you could go to deshonsbook.com and get your 75% off. So with that said, I will see y'all in the next hour. Congrats to everybody that got a book. Thank you for being here. Thank you for learning with me. Thank you for engaging. We got a lot more coming. We're just getting started. So stay tuned. I will see y'all soon. Somebody just said they're paying $730 for the same car. So that same Hyundai Palisade that this person's paying $597 for, they're paying $730. That sucks. And then if you are shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months, I want you to type me in the comments. All right, so we know who we're talking to. And Instagram. All right, Instagram. I see Instagram log this out again because I switched from the screen. We're just getting used to this. But as you come in, if you are shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months, just type me. And I want to know because I want to talk specifically to y'all. Specifically to y'all. If you're shopping for a car, you know, after that, that's fine. But I want to talk specifically to the people who are shopping now. Now, after you let us know if you're shopping, I want you to check in. Where we at? Where are we at today? Let me know where you are in the country. I like to do a roll call, check in. Where are we at in the country? Good to see you, Calvin. Good to see you, Catrella. Good to see you, Charlicia. Steeler Nation, St. Louis in the building. I see you. Okay. Hold on. Let me go here. TikTok. All right. Where y'all at? Let's. Okay. I see Dallas, Texas. I see Tampa. Hold on. I'm trying to see Chicago, Illinois, VA Beach, Utica. I see you. Check in. Where we at today? Where we at this afternoon, evening, morning? Come on in. All right. We got the whole country on here. And we got the whole country on here. All right, I want to welcome y'all to Car Q&A with me, Deshone the Auto Advisor. As you come in, if you could spend a minute or two with us, 5-10 minutes, an hour, you're gonna get a lot of value out of it. We're getting ready to do some rapid fire Q&A, and we're gonna be answering all types of questions about car shopping and what you need to know to make sure you're saving thousands on your next car and every car you get after that. So as you come in, if you're not subscribed, if you're not following, you will benefit from hitting that follow button. You will benefit from hitting the subscribe button because we're going to be doing this live show pretty regularly to make sure that you guys have access to all the information. So before we get into Q&A, I want to give people time to come in. I also want to finish up the housekeeping. My new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, is now officially released. We are doing a 75% off sale. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. It has links to videos. It has links to my scripts. There's no guesswork in this, y'all. I want to give y'all a process that y'all can use for the rest of your life without having to worry about, I want y'all to be able to guarantee a success. So if you're on Instagram, you can go to the Instagram bio. You won't leave the broadcast. Get your 75% off because it's only available for a few minutes at 75% off. TikTok bio, and then Facebook and Instagram. Y'all can go to deshonesbook.com or you can scan the QR code. So let's go. Let's get your questions going. I want y'all to enjoy using that book. Get your 75% off and enjoy not reading it, enjoy using it. All right. So let me see. Let's start bringing in some comments. Where's our first question? Do I have to get financing? Oh, by the way, in a few minutes, y'all, I'm going to be giving y'all a very, very deep look into a game that's going to help you understand leasing versus buying. So in about 5-10 minutes, we'll start that game and you're going to love it. You'll never be confused on whether leasing or purchasing is going to save you more money after we play this. Do I have to get financing to lease a car? No, you don't. Whenever we lease a car, we are always using the dealer's financing department, their companies, the bank that makes the car. And because we can't shop for our own financing, how do we make sure that they're not marking up the interest rate on the lease multiple offers? There's no way for you to make sure they're not marking up the interest rate on the lease without multiple offers. That is what reveals the true deals when you're shopping for a lease. So there's no interest rate to shop for, but we must protect against interest rate markups with multiple offers because some dealers will mark up the interest rate and never tell you. They'll just give you the quote, and they're depending on you not shopping their competition to find out that they marked up the interest rate on the lease. All right. So when you get your offers, it's always with multiple offers. Shout out to the sharers. Shout out to everybody who's sharing the broadcast. If this is your first time on a live with me here, just type 1. Type the number 1 if this is your first time on a live. I'm near the end of a 3-year lease. Is it best to buy the vehicle or lease another? It's very rarely best to buy. Very rarely. Shout out to the first time viewers. Good to see y'all. Very rarely, if ever, good to buy your lease. I'm going to tell y'all why. Because when you buy your lease, you're buying a used car. When you buy your lease, you are buying a used car. That's all that's happening. So, being that you are buying a used car, you need to know if would I normally buy a used car versus leasing. And the only way it makes sense to buy your lease out is if you're keeping the car another 8 years. I'm going to tell you why. You've already had the car for 3 years. You've already had the car for 3 years. Most people, when you buy your lease out, you're getting another 5 or 6 year loan for the balance. So you're committing to 8 or 9 years of payments on the same car. This spills into bad lease deals. The reason we don't take 48 month leases on a lease, because we're paying too long on a vehicle that we're giving back. We never want to be tied up long term in a vehicle we're giving back. That's the whole point. Leasing is meant to be 3 years, 39 months, sometimes 2 years, depending on what they're offering, in and out, switching cars very fast, always under warranty, keeping our payments low. Okay. Can y'all light up TikTok with the likes? Can y'all continue to tap the screen on TikTok? I see we got a few hundred people. We got about 400 people on total, all the broadcast. Could you actually hit that share button? Because I promise you, y'all, no one will ever get mad at you for sharing my page with them. I guarantee you that. In fact, my goal is to get them to thank you. Hey, thank you for sharing that. I like that guy's stuff. We try not to waste any time here. What about paying cash? VJ Live said, let me put this question up on the screen. If you're on, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube so y'all can see the whole thing, the presentation, when we share these numbers. We can't do that on Instagram and TikTok. So VJ Live said, what about paying cash? I have about 15,000 and I don't want payments, but they keep trying to push me to 20, 25 grand range so I can have payments. Here's the thing. If you can find a quality car for 15 grand, great. If it's going to force you to buy something that's not, who's heard you always pay cash for a car? If, as you come in, thank you, Godhead. Shout out to the sheriffs. I see y'all. Who's heard always pay cash for a car? Type me in the comments. If you've heard always pay cash for a car, type me in the comments. I see y'all lighting up. Keep tapping the screen on TikTok. We appreciate it. Y'all lighting up the likes. Y'all can see where we at on the likes in the top left. Who's heard always pay cash? Right? 5150 times heard it. VJ Live said, heard it all my life. Now listen, bunch of Dave Ramsey advice. Now here's the real. Here's what I'm just telling y'all. We got a bunch of people on here, hundreds of you all say, yes, I've heard you pay cash for cars. Now there's two schools of thought here. One is no debt. Now if your philosophy is no debt, I'm not here to convince you to change your philosophy. Here's what I'm here to talk to you about. If your philosophy is I want to do what makes the most financial sense, then we'll have that conversation. Because people who could pay cash for cars and don't, they typically are making money on their money. When I was in the dealership, people would come in, they would ask, what are the interest rates this month? If the interest rates were 0%, something special like 0%, 1%, 2%, 3%, if they knew that they were getting 10, 15, 20% returns on their money, they're not going to put it in a car. They're going to use the bank's money at 1, 2, 3%, and they're going to use their money to keep making 10, 12, 15, 20%. That's the philosophy. So they view that as, I'll pay 3%. They view it more as a business transaction than as a leveraging money to make more money. See, some people will tell y'all people who don't pay cash for cars, they're into debt. But I'm here to tell you that when I sat with very, very savvy people in my career with Mercedes and General Motors, I had tons of people who could easily have wrote a check for the car. I want you to know that if your goals are to eventually get into making more money with your money, investing your money, getting 10%, 12%, 8%, trying to beat inflation, then you're going to have a problem putting your cash into cars. Because not only, if let's say we park right now, this is just as answering VJ Live's question, because I got it up on the screen here on YouTube and Facebook. He's asking about paying cars. And many of you, as you sit on the show, you'll see, Dad, that's a similar question. Many of you will see someone's going to ask the same question you have. When we start seeing that we can actually use the bank's money for less, we're gonna realize that when you put $20,000 of your hard-earned cash into a car, that money cannot make you more money. That $20,000 that you just put in the car cannot make you more money. You have maxed out the value of that $20,000. It's in a car, you can't pull it out. You could refinance, but that's not happening. You're going to refinance and just get another loan. The point is, your money's in that car now. So had you had an opportunity to invest that 20 and make 8%, 10%, 6%, 12%, that's what the people who don't pay cash for cars who are wise are doing. I'm not telling you there's a difference. Look, I talk a lot about budgeting. I talk a lot about affordability. All through my book, I have systems and boundaries. The rule of 72 and the 10th birthday, how long of a loan you take, how much, when should the car be paid off? That's all in my book. You can get it 75% off, or you can watch my videos. I'm going to always teach it. But if you want it all in one place right here, get the book, 75% off. It's in my TikTok or Instagram bio. But that's what we got to know. We got to know if we're going to use leverage and use the bank's money, there are extremes of leverage. There is over leverage. And we cannot be over leveraged. That means we're taking a loan that's too much, too long, we just want to borrow to try to afford a car. And you see this a lot with older cars, people buying luxury cars that they really can't afford because, brand new, the car is 80 grand. But if they get a 10-year-old one and they get a 5-year loan, now they're in a 2013 AMG Mercedes with 90,000 miles on it. So that's the opposite extreme. Using leverage and loans to buy things we can't afford. But then the other opposite extreme is paying cash when we don't have to. Finding that balance between getting the car we want, getting the best car we can afford, because you said, hey, I'm trying to find a car for 15 grand. I can't find it. They want me to spend 20, 25. Well, the name of the game is you better learn how to find if there's any cars out there for 15, you better learn how to find them. And you look everywhere, you look over all the marketplaces. And before you raise your budget up to 2025, we have something we do called the perfect budget. You got to go to 17 first. You don't go from 15 to 2025. You go from 15 to 17. See if I can find anything good for 17. Oh, I can't. All right, now I go to 19. And I have this calculator that's going to help you guys inside the book. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. You put in the money you have, you put in what you want your payment to be. It's going to tell you how much car you can buy. You put in your state, so we could have. How many times y'all walk in, right? And you're like, man, I want to spend 25 grand on a car, but you forgot to factor in taxes and the fees. How many times does that happen? Type ouch if you've ever dealt with that. Let's be willing to be honest. You had a budget in your mind. This is what I want my monthly payment to be. This is what I want to spend on the car. Next thing you know, you're a little over that budget, or sometimes a lot over that budget, and you're leaving like, all right, I see you, 919 Mike. Thank you. I see you, Mika Larkin. Shout out to everybody willing to be honest. See, in order for us to really make sure we don't make these mistakes, we got to be honest of the fact we've made them. So that's what we want to do. We want a budgeting system that tells us when we can. You spend any more than this, and you're going to be over your budget. You said you want a payment of $400 a month. That means you said you only got $1,000 to put down, or nothing to put down. Or here's what you can spend on a car. And when you use this perfect budget calculator, you're going to never go over budget. Because honestly, y'all, we don't want to be anywhere near our top of our budget. We want to be shopping under our budget. That's where I want y'all, under your budget. That's why I said if your budget was 15 and then your max might be 20, 25 with a loan, all right, we got to go from 15 to 17, to 17.5 to 18. We don't just jump to 2025. But we need a methodical system to do that, to help us do that. How do I get out of an upside down lease? Jose, you can only sell out of it. That's all you could do. You could sell out of it. If you, no matter what, y'all, who's in a car that they want to replace and they think they're upside down? They may have some negative equity. This is all in the book. I would really like y'all, the reason why I'm doing the 75% off, couple reasons. The book just officially came out. But I really want y'all not having to remember this. Yes, this live rebroadcast is going to be syndicated. So no matter when you're watching it, the information is going to be valuable and applicable. But I really want y'all to have the book so that you can actually reference the information over and over again. Thank you, B-Bad. Thank you for this info. Thank you, SJF Racing. So, all right. Yes, 25 goes to 30 real fast. Let me show y'all something, and then we'll continue. This is where we are right now on Goodreads.com. We're rated 4.94. We've already received 27 reviews, 31 ratings, and the book hasn't been out yet. So if you go to Goodreads.com, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you can see what I'm posting. But I'm sharing the fact we're already rated 4.94, 31 ratings, and the book hasn't come out yet. So now that it's officially out, I really want y'all to have it. And so make sure you take advantage. Get your 75% off. It's normally $97, but while you're watching here, it's 75% off. Everything I teach is in there in one place, so you don't have to remember it. All right. If you have let's talk to the people who are in an upside down lease or upside down loan. First of all, we don't want to be there. I'm gonna tell y'all why. If you're in an upside down lease, that means you didn't pick your mileage correctly. That means something happened, because with a lease, you have to have predictable miles. You have to know how much you're going to drive roundabout. You got to be able to guesstimate. That's why if you're running a Turo business, when you're trying to rent the car out for, 40,000 miles a year, or you don't know how much it's going to be on that car. Could be 20, could be 40. A lease is not good because you can't predict the mileage. But in normal life, we can predict our mileage very closely. Now, when things happen, let's say you were working at home, and now all of a sudden you are, you're not working from home anymore. Now you got to drive into the office to 20 miles away. Well, that's a lifestyle change. That can lead to you racking up mileage penalties. But here's what we don't want to do. You don't want to buy that car, y'all. I'm going to tell you why. Every time you lease, you have a price that you can buy the car for. Most times, it ain't worth that. Yes, in the last couple of years, we saw a couple cases where, the buyout prices were good. Before the pandemic, the buyout prices usually were nowhere near what you could get a comparable used car for. So if your car was 3 years old with 36,000 miles on it, the prices they were putting was to make you not buy the car, was to make you send it back to them so that they can handle it and resell it. So if the price wasn't worth it to begin with 36,000 miles, I've seen people, you go over your miles and you're like, I'm over the miles, I'm just going to buy it. The price wasn't worth it with good mileage. The price wasn't worth, if you had 36,000 miles, that car wasn't worth you buying for the buyout price. You actually have 48,000 miles and they want you to pay the same price for it. So it's important that if we have to deal with penalties because we didn't structure the lease correctly, or because we didn't quite know what we were going to be driving, or we had a lifestyle change, taking the penalty and applying it over to our next deal is always, not always, but in most cases, going to be less money than us buying an overpriced car with high mileage now. We cannot just keep buying our leases without doing a market check. So when you asked about how do I get out of a lease with negative equity, all you can do is find out what the penalty is. There's 3 ways that you could get out of this thing. You could either pay the difference. So if you got, you could wait until your mileage, and this is, all right. If you have negative equity on a lease, I don't even like to call it negative equity because there's no such thing as negative equity on a lease. There's penalties. That's different. Penalties. On a car you purchase, yes, there's negative equity. You bought it, you have a loan on it, the value is not worth the loan. Negative equity. With a lease, we have penalties, over mileage penalties. And now some people will say, well, I'm going to go over mileage. I'm going to get out of the lease 3 months early. But you don't realize if you get out of the lease early, what do you still have remaining? Payments. Three months of payments, 6 months. Who's ever had a dealer say, hey, don't worry about the payments. We'll take care of the old payments. Who's ever heard that? Type me if you've ever had a dealer say to you, don't worry about the old payments. We'll take care of the old payments. Okay, lots of you. The problem with that is the payments don't disappear. They always get rolled over to the next lease. They always get rolled over to your next deal. So what I want y'all to start doing is I want y'all to see that. The money is not hitting. When you have negative equity, 5,000, you got this baggage from your old car, it does not go away. It gets either transferred or you can pay off the difference. So the key is to stay out of negative equity, to stay out of penalties, because yes, once you have them, they have to be accounted for. We got to find our great deal, and then we got to bring our penalties over on top of the great deal. That's all we can do. Now, you better try to see what your car is worth selling it, because you said you're over miles. You call your leasing company, you get your payoff, you find out what your cash offers are. Go to Vroom. Vroom's out of business. Sorry, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, AutoNation, and Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. You can go to Car Guru, Sell My Car Too. These are all people that give you cash for your car. That's what your car is really worth, what those companies will pay. Whoever's the highest bidder, we take that. See, what I'm teaching y'all, and some of you are going to get it immediately right here, right now. Some of you, it's going to take a while to get the fact that your money comes when your savings come when you start learning to make people bid instead of getting one offer. You get the most money when you start learning to make people bid. And so what you have to do is get multiple offers, find out what your car is worth, When you go on those websites, when they ask you, is it a lease, say no, because their websites are set up to where if you put it's a lease, it's going to automatically trigger that they can't buy it. But they can buy it. We've been doing this, y'all. I got hundreds and hundreds of members in Cars from Home University. We shop all around the country. You must put no when you're getting offers for a lease, because their computer is set up to automatically think that it's a third-party restriction and they can't buy it. But when you call your bank, you're going to ask them, do I have a third-party restriction? If they say no, then that means you can sell to anybody. But again, the way these companies are set up, they saw us making all this money on these cars, and the bank said, no, we got to do these third-party restrictions. And there was so many people going to those websites saying, oh, I'm about to sell my lease. And then they would get there, or they would talk to them and they would say, no, we can't buy it because it's a third-party restriction. So they just made their website default to, we don't buy leases, but we do know if you don't have a third-party restriction, they can buy your lease. And it's very important for you to know that. And if you do have a third-party restriction, it doesn't limit the fact you can sell and make money. It limits who you can sell to. When you have a third-party restriction, they say what they're saying is you can only sell your car to a dealer that makes the same brand. You cannot sell to a third party, Carvana, Driveway. You can't sell to them directly. You can only sell to a dealer. So what does that mean? I see y'all lighting up the likes on TikTok. Can y'all keep tapping the screen? Let's keep those likes going up. I see it. I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody sharing. So when you are, I just got off my point, but I know it was about selling. So multiple offers, y'all. This is all in the book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. Who has their copy? Who got their copy? We'll continue. We got some more time. We're going to keep doing Q&A, but who got their copy of the book already? Who got their 75% off? I really want y'all using this. The book is affordable for everybody. Everybody. All right, especially at 75. Now it should show, make sure it's not showing the $97 price. That's the normal price. I see you, 5150. Okay. All right, I see you, Jimbo. Okay. Okay, I see you, Diane. I appreciate you. Okay, and I want y'all to use it. Don't read it, use it. That is like literally it's an action guide. That ain't a book you read and then you have a bunch of things you got to remember. I'm walking you through the process step by step. And again, everything I teach is in my videos. So I don't hold back in my videos, but I do want y'all to have access to all the information in one place. If you don't want to cycle through all my videos to try to find it. All right, is it worth buying a car from Carvana? That's a great question, Danny. It depends on if it's the best deal in the market. Danny said, is it worth it to buy a car from Carvana? Now, you can put anything in there. You can put Driveway, any of these online sites, online car buyers, online used car sellers. But here's the game that we avoid. We cannot shop from them exclusively, because here's what they try to do. They'll try to sell you a car based on variety. Hold on. My do not disturb should be on. My do not disturb should be on. So anytime you see, hold on one second. I keep getting a call and I don't know why it always does this. I don't want to lose the people on Instagram. Hold on, Instagram. We got you. All right. We should be back on Instagram now. Okay. So most times, especially when we're selling our cars to these people, you got to realize we sell our cars to Carvana, to Driveway, to all these companies because they pay more than dealers on average. If they're paying more than dealers on average, they're usually not the lowest price. When they're selling the cars, they're usually one of the highest. You can't pay people more than dealers and then turn around and sell for less than dealers. That could be part of the reason why Vroom went out of business. But Whenever we shop for a pre-owned car, Carvana is always on the list. Whenever we shop for a pre-owned car, CarMax is always on the list. Driveway is always on the list. Why? Because we shop everywhere there's a used car. You may have been trained to shop local with used cars or to shop I only go to Car Gurus. Then you're missing the stuff that's on cars.com. You're missing the stuff that's on carfax.com. You're missing the stuff that's on Driveway. You're missing the stuff that's on CarMax. So we got it just the same way. If we were buying a baby stroller, we're gonna go to Walmart, right? .com. We're gonna go to Amazon, right? We're going everywhere, right? That's the same way we got to be when we're shopping for used car. Carvana is just one marketplace, and unfortunately, there are people who shop from them exclusively because they're like, "Oh, I just love Carvana. I don't have to go into the dealer," and they don't realize that one, you can buy, what I teach you won't be in a dealer more than 30 minutes, and also, if I'm not checking their prices, I'm gonna overpay, and I'll literally have I didn't have to go to a dealer, but I got a car in my driveway that I could have got for $5,000 less if I just shopped around the right way. I did just mention Auto Trader. Auto Trader's on our list, Alex. Auto Trader is one of our marketplaces. It's one of the marketplaces we shop on. It's just like a Walmart. It's just like a Amazon.com. Auto Trader is a big one. We definitely don't skip any used car marketplace. Now, we don't use Auto Tempest because Auto Tempest pulls and aggregates some data from other people's websites. They're not their own marketplace, so they can't get all the data. So that's why I don't use them. We just go direct to the marketplaces themselves because no company has the rights to market everyone's product. And so as long as no company has the right to market everyone's products, the only way we're going to see all the product is by being on all the marketplaces. But I'll show you how to do this quick. This shouldn't take you more. Look, y'all, this is going to sound crazy, but it shouldn't take you more than 60 minutes, 90 minutes to get your best deal on a car. No, 90 tops. Tops. Not only do I want y'all saving thousands, I want y'all to save time. Deciding what you want, shopping, test driving, that takes time. That's fun. Getting the deal, that should not take you more than 60 to 90 minutes when you learn how to get bids. Okay. And the more you stick around, the more you use what I teach, you're going to make deals and save more money in like less time. I don't want to spend more than 60, 90 minutes getting my car deal, and I don't. All right. Ivan said, planning to get a new car ASAP. What are the steps to prepare that you would suggest? Well, first thing is to know whether you're buying or leasing. Let's go into this game. All right, let's go into this game. Thanks for reminding me. Now this is a game that I've done this on in some master classes. This is also in Cars from Home University, my video library. So what I want to show y'all is this game I like to call Who's Winning. Okay? This is why. Now listen, we get ready to make some people mad at some people. I don't want y'all to get mad, but once y'all see this, y'all are going to be mad at some people who taught y'all bad information about leasing, and it's cost y'all money. This is always step one. Now I'm getting calls from Facebook. How could this is so weird. I don't get how the heck I have my phone on do not disturb and I'm still getting calls. That is so weird to me. Got to figure that out. So bear with us, Instagram. Instagram is always the one that has to bear with us, but all right. So this is what we're doing here. And look, go to YouTube or go to Facebook and watch the rebroadcast. Rob Rue said, where do I purchase the book? Everybody who wants to purchase the book and get the 75% off, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, go to my bio, click the picture of me, go to my bio, you'll see a link, and then you'll see 75% off. Grab it. You won't even leave the broadcast, so you don't have to worry. You'll be right here. You'll still be able to hear me. And then if you're on YouTube, or you could go to deshonsbook.com. If you're on Facebook, go to Deshon's Book, or you can scan the QR code. So what we're about to do, I want y'all to I'm going to ask y'all a question. We're going to go down the road and we're going to compare two different people here. People who buy a car and people who lease. This is step one. Before you think about how much you're getting how much you're going to pay, your budget, any of the things, do I have down payment? Before we think about any of that, I want y'all to know what the most important question is. That's leasing versus buying. So on this screen, I'm comparing a person who leases and got a brand new $40,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee 2024. Now, I want y'all to look at this if you're on Facebook and Instagram. If you're on Facebook or YouTube. This person with a good lease deal is paying $500 a month. $500 a month for a brand new $40,000 car. Now, the person who purchases, some of y'all know every $5,000 on a loan is about $100 per month. So if you're looking at a $40,000 car, you're looking at about $800 per month on a 5-year loan. Now, I got this person in here on a 6-year loan at $675 a month. That's how much this car costs. 6-year loan, 3.99%. $675 per month. Let me ask y'all a question. Looking at this screen, who's winning so far? Two people drive off the lot in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee. They have the exact same vehicle. One is white, one is gray. One person's paying $500 a month. They're leasing it. One person's paying $675 to buy it. $675 for 6 years. Who's winning, the lease or the purchase? Put L or P. We're just talking about, literally, we just drove off the dealership. You sitting in this car next to me. We got the same truck. I'm paying $500 a month. You purchased it. You're paying $675. Who's winning? The lease. Exactly. If you're saying purchase, you're missing it. You and me are in the same car. I'm leasing the same car as you for $500 a month. You're paying $675 a month. Same exact car. Who's winning? Exactly. See, Rob, and these are the things where we can't look. There is no, the purchaser is not winning. It's not, no, it depends. We have to go straight up. We have to go straight up by the numbers. See, that's where we lose at. We lose with all of this subjective, oh, well, it depends on how we look at it. No. You're driving a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I'm driving the same vehicle as you. I lease it, and every month $500 comes out of my household. Every month $675 comes out of your household. We have the same exact car. Who's winning? The lease. Exactly. That's what we got. We're going to go down the road. And listen, go subscribe to YouTube. Watch we're going to syndicate these episodes. So you might be watching the syndication. It doesn't change the value. I want you to see that $500 a month coming out of someone's household is $175 less than $675. So the person who leased so far is $175 per month richer. Every month, the person who's leasing over here is $175 per month richer. Now let's go to the next slide. Now, 3 years later, person wants to buy. Now, here's the thing about the purchase. There's an amount you owe. On a 6-year loan, they would owe $24,000 at the end of 3 years. I've already done it. You can watch this. That's how much the balance on their loan would be. It would be $23,400. So that's the amount they need to break even on the car. Now, mind you, they've already spent $175 per month more than the person who leased. So they're $6,300 poorer. You can see they're $6,300 poorer. See, I want y'all to see that everything that you're doing when you're not leasing is trying to catch up to the person who got a great lease deal. Everything from the moment you purchase, you're putting so much money out into the car compared to the people who get great lease deals that now your only goal is to catch up to them. This is why this is step one right here. Go to YouTube, watch it on YouTube so you can get the whole view. So 675, 500. Now, this vehicle, y'all, is 40,000 brand new. What is a 3-year-old vehicle worth after? If it was 40,000 brand new? What is it worth after 3 years? 40,000 is a fair estimate 24,000. I tried to look at what I believe a fair estimate is for a 3-year-old vehicle resale value. If we purchase a vehicle for 40,000 in 3 years, when we go to trade it, 36,000 miles, is it fair that vehicle, a fair estimate is about $24,000? You're not getting 28. Let's be honest here. We're not buying a vehicle for 40, coming back and get 28 3 years later. So here's the problem. When we get 20, you're not getting 28. And don't let the last 2-3 years of having high resale values confuse y'all. Don't do that. You will destroy yourself. You don't want to. There is no class, Solomon. There is no class. This is the class. Just tune in and lock in. Like, this is serious financial education that is going to be simple if you just focus on it. If you buy a vehicle for 40, the average that you're going to see that vehicle when you go trade it in is you get about 24 on. That is going to be a good cash resale value. And that's what happens to most people. And as you can see, they still owe, if your vehicle's only worth 23,400, I mean, if your vehicle's only worth 24, but you owe 23,400, you're breaking even. This is nothing. Like, I've already spent so much more than the person leasing, and now when I go to trade my car in, I'm not even able to get enough money to catch up to them. I'm not able to I'm $6,300 behind the person who leased when you purchase, and I'd have to get all that money back to make it worth it to have bought. That's why, y'all, when you buy your cars and trade in, you notice how much you always worry about how much you're going to get for the car. Y'all notice that if you're a person and you buy your cars and you keep them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you notice how you're always worried about, man, that's all you're giving me for my car? That's all you're giving me? Nah, you got to give me more than that. You know who doesn't worry about that? Keepers. Anybody in here who buys a car, keeps it till the wheels fall off, you never worry about what the car is worth, right? Because you're using all that value. That's what we do when we purchase. But here with a lease, you're always behind. If you purchase a brand new car compared to a person who leases, you're always behind. You can't catch up with them. You're paying too much money. So this is an intro. We didn't even talk about the fact, what if the person has an accident? And I really like wish that y'all could see this on YouTube. And can y'all see the screen on Instagram? I don't know. Are y'all able to see the slides on Instagram? I don't know what view y'all have on Instagram, but we're not talking about if the person has an accident. If the person has an accident in the car that they own, you lose two grand of your value. So the buyer is always behind. Now we can go down the road. When we go down the road, you'll see that eventually the person starts catching up, but it's only after 8 years. You can't catch up to somebody who's paying $175 a month less than you to drive the same car as you. That money just keeps adding up. And we were taught that we're supposed to purchase, but only if you're long-term. That is when you purchase. 8 years, nothing more. All right, so I got to see how I'll probably try to do this and go deeper when I can get some. It's hard to do it because they can't, everybody can't see it. So just watch the replay of it, and you'll be able to see it. But this is the difference, y'all. Queen Mama said, I'm a keeper and I need to break. I need a break from car payment. See, but let me ask you, can I ask y'all a real question? Why are car payments the only payments we need a break from? Let me ask y'all a very real question, because car payments we need a break from, but we're okay with cell phone payments. We're okay with insurance payments. We're okay with car insurance payments. We're okay with, this is like a cost of living. And I don't have a problem when it comes to financially, I want to pay cash for a car, and I'm just going to keep my debt down, and I'm going to make sure that, the interest rates are high right now, so I'm not going to look to borrow. I'm just going to pay cash. That's fine. Paying cash as a savvy move is like, the bank's money is too expensive. I'm not investing, I'm not investing my money in anything. I'm just going to pay cash. But why are car payments the only ones it's the only payment we look and say, well, I want to avoid that. We don't do it with houses. We don't do it with anything else in life. And sometimes it makes us get a bad car because we like, oh, I'm just going to save up $8,000. I'm just going to say. Meanwhile, if we knew how to properly structure our deals, we can get the best car for our budget, under our budget. Because y'all know all cash is saved up payments, right? All people be like, oh, I'm going to pay cash. If you save up $20,000, that's just a bunch of saved up payments. Yeah, she said, I'm tired of house payments too. I understand. And again, if we have the cash and we can go and we can look, I'm going to teach you how to pay cash for cars if it makes sense. And if you have cash, that's great. We got to make sure we get the best price on the car. But at the same time, you need to know when it doesn't make sense to pay cash. If they're doing 0% financing on the car you want, why wouldn't we use the bank's money at 0% and let our money continue to make money, or continue to keep our cash free? So again, because there's nothing to justify it. There's nothing to make it make sense. Oh, I don't want car payments. I don't want any of the payments that I have in my life. But my goal is to get the best, the best out of what I'm paying for. But yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. You got to make sure that those that's why, y'all, we got to shop below our budget. I need a break from rent. Yeah, we got to shop below our budget. Look, when we let people talk us into cars that are above our payments goals, that are above our monthly expense goals, oh, now we get tired of them. But if your monthly budget was $500 and you went in and you left with a great car at $450, $425, you ain't really tired of that payment. You're tired of the payment, right? Like, you're tired of the payment that's $700 when you really didn't want to go above $650. Now you're like, dad, I'm paying $700 for this car. Dad, I'm getting tired of this. When you're under, you don't get tired when you're under your budget. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Type I don't know, $, if that makes sense. We only get tired of payments when they're over our budget. When they're comfortably within our budget, we're never tired of them. That's why we're fine. So, but we got to learn how to get the best cars for our budget, and that comes through multiple bids. You have no idea. And then it comes through leasing versus buying, which is what we've been talking about in this initial thing. I'll try to get everybody on one stream, where y'all could all see, because I really want to focus on the people who can see the slides. And, because I know I could engage with them because they can see the slides, and then, but it's people who can't. So that's all right. We'll continue to adjust. But you got to know, believe me when I tell you, thousands of people have learned that the biggest issue of affordability for the cars that they're driving was the fact that they didn't understand leasing. Leasing is going to get you 30, 40% more car for the same money when you learn how to get great lease deals. All day long. So it's people who driving a daggone $50,000 car, they got a $900, $1,000, $1,100 a month payment. at the same time as people driving $50,000 cars. And look, this their payment. I'm gonna show y'all something that's gonna blow your mind. You can't believe that this is a payment on a car. Right here, look, Greg. Greg is in our Facebook group. He's in our Cars from Home University program. He said, my first time posting here. His MSRP on his car that he got, it's a Kia EV6 Win with the tech package. $56,275 car, y'all. $56,000. That vehicle, if he went in there and said, I want to purchase that, you know, man, I'm not leasing nothing, you know, how much is it? That vehicle is $1,100 a month on its best day. 5-year loan, $1,100 a month. If he stretches out the loan 6 years, maybe it's $1,000 a month. I don't ever recommend you go above a 6-year loan. When we get into structuring our deal, y'all gonna hear me talk about the rule of 72, 10th birthday. We don't ever want to go above a 6-year loan. It's very risky, and it's a sign of affordability. We can't afford the car. It's like a 40, 50-year mortgage. So the point is, if he walks in to get that car, he's leaving with $1,000 car payment. Same car. Look at what he got, y'all. Shopping multiple offers. The dealer that won the bid, his payment is $527 a month. $527 a month. He gave him first month's payment and he drove off. He said no other dealer came close. Some people may have shopped that car and said, Deshone, I was shopping a lease for that car. They was telling me it's $800 a month. Absolutely. That's normal because the overpriced dealers that we don't buy from are going to take their shots. But in order for us to see that, wait, this car is not really $800. The best deal on this car is $527. We have to shop multiple offers. Now, it's not always going to be that dramatic, but I promise y'all, when y'all shop multiple offers, it's going to blow your mind. The best deal to the worst deal is going to be $3,000 to $5,000 different. And you're going to see that some of the dealers that you've trusted the most, that you've been buying from, maybe your family been buying cars from them, some of them may be the ones to take the biggest shot at you. So you have to shop multiple offers. But how does, y'all see how there's no comparison to that deal Greg just got? $527 a month. Another person's driving the exact same vehicle paying $900. This is how, when y'all see these videos of that, people average car payment is $1,000. How? Because they don't understand leasing. They don't understand leasing. Once you understand leasing, you'll understand how these people are getting jammed up and how you may have gotten jammed up in a high car payment for a car that you might feel like, yo, I'm paying way too much money for this car. And then the opposite side is, if we are purchasing, we have to make sure we are getting the best price for the car and we are getting the best interest rate we can get. Does he lease to buy? No, we don't do lease to buys. We don't mix the two. Leasing is its own benefit. That's a great question. Great question. Let me put the banner back up for those of you who want to get the book. See, if you don't want to have to remember all of this, grab your book. My new book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's digital, so you could download it, be literally using it in 2 minutes, and just go to deshonesbook.com. It's 75% off for our launch, and you can get your copy. If you're on Facebook or if you're on Instagram or TikTok, you could go right to my bio, click the link in my bio, get your copy while it's 75% off. Price goes back up to $97. I think after 30 minutes. All right, so your payment is over $1,100 now, and look, that means your loan is probably somewhere around 60 grand or more. Depends on how much it depends on what your term was. So if your payment was $1,100 a month, on a 5-year term, that's a $60,000 loan. That's about a $5,500 loan on a 5-year term. So you want to look at other ways to acquire that car. Is there a way that I could have been in this car for less money? Now, watch this, Gigaware, because he's being honest. My payment's is $1,100. If you are buying that car and your intention is to keep it, and that means your intention is to keep it for 8+ years, you're going to pay off that car, and then you're going to just, start to once you don't have a car payment, you can start to catch up to the person who leased. because the person who leases is always going to have a payment. That's the downside about leasing. There is no opportunity for you to pay off the car, and you don't want to. Again, it's not like when you're not keeping cars long enough, you're getting great lease deals. It's not, the goal is not to pay off the car. The goal is to drive the most car I can for the least amount of money. That's the goal with a lease. The goal with a purchase is to now pay off the car and start to now keep the car long enough for the depreciation to cool off. Depreciation is the value that it loses every year. Thank you, Becky. Good to see you as well. Long time. Great to see you. So depreciation is the value the car loses every year. When you buy a brand new car, you lose 20% the first year. Then you lose 15%. Then you lose 15%. Then you lose 12%. Then you lose 10%. And as you keep the car longer, it gets to a point where you're only losing 5% or so a year. But you must keep that car long enough to get to that point. And what many of you have been taught to do, you may have been taught to, man, I buy my cars and then I'm replacing them in 3 years. I'm replacing them in 5 years. Now you know I'm replacing my cars when they're losing the most value. That's not when you want to replace a car. You now bought the car, it's losing value like crazy for the first 6, 7 years. Now, perfect. It's going to cool off now. It's paid off now. Now I can start to recoup some of all that money that I put into that car. But most people don't do that. You may have been taught, I just go and get another car and I start the process all over again. So not only are you never getting to benefit, not only are you always having a payment anyway, you're not getting the benefit from all the money that you're putting into these cars. You're never allowing the depreciation to cool off to where you got no car payment and you just got a car out there and you can stack some of this money up. It just happens all the time. It's an issue of not understanding leasing. Leasing is for short-term people less than 8 years. Purchasing is for long-term people more than 8 years. And don't worry, we'll continue to go deep on this. All in the book. So anyway, anybody who wants to really know this and have it all in one place so they can use it, if you're shopping for a car now or in the next 12 months, you need this stuff right now. You know, I got tons of videos all over all my Facebook pages. But if you want all the information in one spot, get your book at 75% off. Just make sure that it's not showing the $97 price. Whenever you click to the website, make sure it's showing the 75% off price. So you can purchase off the bank loan. I don't know what you mean by that, Skinner. Is it smart to lease and then buy it out? No, see, and again, that's a very common question. Yo, what's the benefit of that? I mean, somewhere along the lines, we heard about leasing to buy. We don't want to, you're only leasing because you don't want to buy the car. You're buying the car because you want to keep it and take care of it for the long run. I see you, Dr. Coop. Congratulations. She said, I got the book. Enjoy it. Use it. Don't read it. Use it. And, I really can't wait to hear your success story. There's no reason. Look, when I'm going into a lease, and you got to have this in your tool belt. Some of you, your children are not going to keep a car 8 years. You're going to need to set them up to get a great lease. Yeah, you might be a person who like Deshone. I just buy my car, man, I keep it 10 years. If that's you, type K for keeper. Most times, if you buy your cars, you keep them 10 years, type K in the comments for keeper. Thanks, Ambi. Said keep killing it. Appreciate you. If you are, the book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's in my TikTok bio and it's in my Instagram bio. But I think you only got, it's 30 minutes. You could get it for 75% off. While everybody is on, you could get it 75% off. Okay, so keepers, you are not, you're not worried. That's when you buy. When I'm going into lease, I'm not thinking about keeping. We don't want to mix the two. Leasing is, I'm going to get a great lease deal where I drive a brand new car for pennies compared to purchasing. Or for a small percentage compared to purchasing. That is a lease. My goal is not to buy the car. It's not to buy the car. You see, when we keep, we win. When we lease, we win as long as we're getting good deals. But it's people who are mixing the two, and that might be you, and that's where we lose. We buy and then we trade. We buy and then we sell it in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We tired of it. Oh, I'm gonna go switch out of this. That's mixing. The other one is you lease and then you purchase the lease. So you lease your vehicle and then you go buy it at the end. That is mixing. You don't want to mix because the benefits of leasing are laid out. The benefits of purchasing are laid out. Very clear, separate benefits. When you mix the two strategies, you lose the benefits. And again, most people who would tell you they bought their lease, they're buying it with a 5 or 6 year loan when they've already been paying 3 years to lease it. The lease is 3 years, the loan is 5 years, that's 8 years. And I'm gonna tell y'all how this happened. How I figured out this was so bad. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was in the dealership one day. Somebody comes in. They're like, "Hey, I want to replace my car." So I go out and I look at the car. I ask them what they owe. No, I don't think I asked them what they owe. They come to the dealership. They say, "Yeah, I got a car out there. I want to trade it in for a new car." And I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty normal. Let's take a look." Here's what happens. I say, "What year is it?" And they'll say, "Well, it's a 2018. I'm just using like a real example. Like they say, "Oh, it's a 2018. Now I'll ask them, "How long have you had it?" And they'll say, "Well, I bought it brand new. So I've had it 5 years, 6 years." Now, follow me, y'all. Everybody on here, I want your opinion on this. Person comes up and says they've had a car for 6 years. They've bought it brand new. They've been paying on that car for 6 years. Don't you think that car should be paid off by now or almost paid off? Yes or yes. Type Y if you understand. Person bought it 6 years ago. You go out and I'm like, "Okay, mister, how long have you had it?" They're like, "I've had it for 6 years." So I'm like, "Okay, perfect." Everybody's saying yes. So this is what I'm thinking. This is how I found out buying your lease was a bad idea for most people, if not all. So I go and I say, "Okay, great. I see you're here trading." Now, in my mind, I'm already trained to talk to him about leasing because, thank you, Brent. I know you're here trading this car in 6 years. I want to show you what leasing looks like, and you're going to love that a lot better. You're not going to need this down payment. I'm going to be able to give you a check back for this equity in this car you got here. It's going to be all good. And I've helped some people do that. They come in and I show them the lease, and I'm like, you keep just trading your cars, but if you lease, here's what, boom, that you could do. And then I'll give you this, you get a big check back for your balance of your old car, all of that. So this is when it works, it's beautiful. But when it doesn't work, this is what it looks like. I'm like, I run and I'm like, "Okay, your car is worth about $15,000. Instagram just logged me out. Instagram just logged me out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Let's see if I could go back. All right. So now when it doesn't work, so I go out and I found the used car manager may tell me this car is worth 15,000, and I'm like, "Okay, perfect. It's probably paid off. Great. He's gonna get like a check back for like almost all that, and then he's gonna have a low payment. He's gonna love it." So I find out when I call the bank, I say, "How much you owe?" He says, "Well, I don't really know." I call the bank. I'm like, "Okay, I'm calling for Mr. Jones' payoff on his, such and such car." And the bank says, "Okay, yes, the payoff is $15,000. I'm like, "Wait, 15,000? How could he still owe 15,000? This doesn't make sense." I look at him and I said, "The bank is saying you still owe 15,000 on the car." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't know how much I had owed." I said, "Wait a minute. Didn't you tell me that you had this car since it was new?" "Yeah, and you told me you had it for 6 years?" "Yeah. How do you still owe?" And he said, "Oh, I leased it first, though. What I did was I leased it for 3 years, and then I had bought it at the end." And I'm like, "There we go. That's the problem." You leased it for 3 years. Most people, when they're buying their lease, they're going to put a 6-year loan on it, which means 6 years later, from the day you bought it, from the day you originally leased it, 6 years later, you've been making payments and you still have 2 more years of payments left. That's actually, I'm wrong. That's 9, 3 years of payments left. Happens all the time. So I literally, y'all, smart people on here, you'd never take a 9-year loan, right? Type never. You never take a 9-year loan. If you're enjoying, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, we still got probably 400 or 500 people on here throughout all the platforms. If you, whatever platform you're on, make sure you're following us, because this is the stuff we do. You would never, right? You would never take a 9-year loan. But the same adamant, we're adamant we'd never take a 9-year loan. We got to see every single time. Thank you so much. I appreciate the gifts on TikTok and all the platforms. We got to take, every time we hear about buying our lease out, unless we're going to pay cash for it, which is another discussion, but most people are not. They're going to take a 5 or 6 year loan out. So as soon as you hear lease to buy, as soon as you think lease to buy, I want you to think 8 or 9 years of payments on the same car. That's why it's a bad idea. That's why it's a horrible idea. Okay? Now, if you are comparing, we had somebody in our group yesterday who was asking about buying his lease out because he's going to give the car to his parents and because they're going to keep it long term, and the value of the car compared to the value of a similar used car is a great deal. That's different. Buy it. Because all you're doing when you're buying your lease is you're buying a used car. It's your car. I used to help people buy their lease. Hey, they come out of the office, we switch the plates because we got to re-register the car. And I'm like, okay, so how was it? Now they just signed up for a 5-year loan, 6-year loan on a car that they've already been in for 3 years. They're not really excited about it. You know, I've had the car for 3 years. At least when you go buy a used car, you're excited about it. You're excited, oh, nice, it's new to me. But when you buy your lease out, you're not really excited. Thank you, man. Y'all going crazy with these gifts and everything. I appreciate it. So these are the things, like what I want y'all to have. As long as you stick with me and you learn what I teach, you're going to have clear boundaries that you operate in that always protect you. That's the name of the game. There's clear things I do. There's clear things I don't do. I know I have rules. I have boundaries. And what I want y'all to get familiar with is the 8-year rule. The 8-year rule is the first rule. It says if you're not keeping your car 8 years, you should not be buying it. You can't outlive the depreciation. You cannot outlive the depreciation compared to someone who purchases. Now, it's too much to go deep on right now. We'll go deep because I know some people thinking, oh, Deshone, but if I pay cash for a brand new car, I'll pay less overall. Yeah, but if you pay cash for a brand new car, you're still laying out all the money. You're still laying out all the money and you're still trying to get that back. You're still, oh, I paid 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. Do you understand that a person who leases that same car, what would you rather be? Big dog who thinks you're big dog because you're going to write a $50,000 check, or a person who comes in and says, I'm going to get that car for $500 a month. Do I want 50 grand coming out of my bank account going into a car, or do I want $500 every month? It's much more, it's a much more pleasant feeling to give a bank $500 every month to drive their $40,000 car than it is to say, okay, you want this $40,000 car, then you come give us a check for the whole amount and the taxes and everything. Now I'm taking the check out, boom. And again, there are situations where that's right, but I want you may have been somebody who's like, yeah, but I don't think it's right for me. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not one of these people that's going to make y'all feel like you are wrong by using leverage and not learning how to creatively acquire cars where it's a little bit of money coming out of your bank account every month versus what people have told y'all and how you should be buying cars. Thoughts about leasing luxury vehicles. It doesn't change, Dr. Doctober. That's a great question. He said, what are your thoughts about leasing luxury cars? Same principle, 8-year rule. I don't care whether you're leasing a G-Wagon, whether it's a Bentley you're looking at, whether you're looking at a Toyota Corolla, the 8-year rule is what applies. Because the 8-year rule takes into account the depreciation. If you look and say, that's a car I'm keeping for 8 years or more, you buy it. If that's a car you're not keeping 8 years, you're going to see you'll pay thousands less and drive a better car leasing it, even if you try to buy it used. So I'll need more than one broadcast to really go deep on this. I'm just getting familiar with how to use all of these tools, where I can show you all stuff. But we'll continue to go deep on this. This is not a subject. If you've gotten bad years and years of bad advice, it's not always. Some of you get a breakthrough immediately, and some of you it takes more time because again, it's been beaten to your head, and people with loud voices who shout tell you this is what you do, or you never do this, or you always do it like this. You know, like who's heard somebody say never buy a used car? I mean, never buy a new car, always buy used. Who's heard that? Type of U for used. If you were taught you always get a used car, you should never get a new car. Who's taught that? And we got a couple more minutes. We'll stay on. We'll do some more questions. As long as y'all continue to share the broadcast and continue to stay tuned in, I see we still got hundreds of people on, then we'll continue. All right, now let me tell you how, see, you either have to teach something that works for everybody, or what you teach will mess people up. If somebody says to y'all, every single one of you should be buying used cars, because that's what they'll say. Never buy a new car. Everybody on here should be buying a used car. So that means you think everybody in the country should be buying used cars, right? Yeah, absolutely. Nobody should buy a new car. Nobody in this whole country should buy a new car. Like, no, always buy a used car. Okay, perfect. So let's just say if you had your wish, everybody in the country would be buying used cars, right? Because that'd be better for them, right? Yes, if I had my wish, everybody would be buying used cars. Then here's my question. How do they become used cars then? How do they become used cars if everyone is buying used cars? I want y'all to think about this. If you had your wish, you could snap your finger, Mr. Financial Advisor, whatever you teach. How could everyone buy used cars? It's impossible. The cars come in new. They don't just, so if everybody was buying used cars, what's happening to the new cars? They're just sitting there. And then, so that's not a practical solution. How do we acquire? Who should be buying brand new cars? People who are going to lease them, and people who are buying new car, who want to purchase, keep long term, and you could afford new. That's only if some people say, Deshone, I want to buy. I'm not leasing. I want to buy. I keep my car, but should I buy new or pre-owned? That depends on budget. That depends on, unless you want one specific from a year, somebody would be like, oh, I want this special year. But if it's a case of, you know what, I can afford both. Should I buy new? Should I buy pre-owned? That's a matter of budget and preference. If I could afford a new one and I can keep it long enough to outlive the depreciation, then I'll buy new. But if I can't afford to get a quality vehicle for my budget, then I'll buy pre-owned. And some people want to treat themselves. Some people like, I only get a new car every 10 years, Deshone. I'm going to get something new. That's fine. That's fine. As long as it's long term, because time heals all wounds. We killing the likes on TikTok too. I appreciate everybody tapping the screen. Y'all still running the likes up. Appreciate it. Shout out to the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube yet, please, we invite you to subscribe. This is what we'll do. You'll get notifications of when we live, so you can make sure you tapped in. I see you, Barbara. She said, I just bought the book. I appreciate everybody who got the book at 75% off. This is the launch. I'm excited. As y'all saw earlier in the broadcast, we're already rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. We got 31 reviews. That book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, has been really changing people's lives and the way they shop. It's a tool. It's not something you read. It's something you use. So get your copy at deshonesbook.com, 75% off, or you can scan the QR code, or if you're on Instagram or TikTok, just go to my bio. And as long as you're seeing this, you still should be able to get it at the 75% off price. And it's immediate download. So, and you'll see as you read it, there's a reason I had to make it a digital book. I couldn't print it because it links to videos, it links to docs, I got scripts that it links to. There's no way I would have been able to do it printing the book. And then also, sometimes I need to update stuff, like Vroom went out of business 2 months ago. If I would have printed the book, now Vroom is, I need to be able to update real time when something happens, and I couldn't do that with a print book. I didn't want thousands of print books out there and then something changes and now I got to tell people, oh no, you got to get volume 2 now. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Angelina. All right, so Dr. Coop says, I have a paid off Toyota. I don't want to trade it. Should I have a down payment? You don't need, look, if you can find a deal on the vehicle you want below your budget with no down payment, then do it. You said you have a paid off Toyota. You don't want to trade it in. Now, here's what I ask people. You put the vehicle to use, because if you're going to go and get another vehicle, then you're going to be paying for that vehicle. You don't really want, the only people I recommend have an extra vehicle is if you're a high mileage driver. Who's a high mileage driver? You're driving over 20,000 miles a year. Over 20,000 a year, type HM for high mileage. These are the only people that it benefits you having a paid off car like this. So sometimes it's worth it to buy your car, pay off the first car. And here's what I like. All right, so we got a lot of high mileage drivers watching right now. So I have a strategy in the book, and what you'll hear me talk about is really 2 routes for high mileage drivers so that y'all can stop having all this negative equity when you come in to replace your vehicles. What typically happens with high mileage drivers, and the reason I suggest to them 2 cars, 1 car payment, is because they're putting so many miles on their vehicle, but your loan is a normal loan. Your loan is a 5-year loan or a 6-year loan. Those loans are made to go down for the normal or average driver. And even the average driver is going to have negative equity on these loans in the short term. So when you are destroying the value of your car because you're putting 20,000, 30,000 miles a year on it, it's going from being worth 20 grand one year to now it's worth 12 grand the next year because you put 30,000. You're destroying the value of it, but the loan that's attached to it is not moving. This is the indicator that the loan and the purchase price or the value of the asset is totally unrelated. They don't matter. That's why you have to make sure you get a good price on the asset. You can't just pay attention to what is my loan doing, because your loan doesn't tell you what you're really in the car for. So check it out. You now are putting all this mileage on your car. You come in 4 years and you're like, hey, you know what? Car got 200,000 miles on it now. Let me go ahead and trade this thing in. Problem is 200,000 miles. You still got 2 years left on the loan. You still owe 15 grand. You still owe 12,000. You still owe 20,000. And you are now seriously hurting your value, your next deal, because all that baggage you got to come to this next deal. The solution to stay out of that is to make sure that you are having I teach either 2 routes. Well, the third is really just be a long-term person. You could drive 30,000 miles a year. And if I'm a long-term person, I'll just have 300,000 miles on my car in 10 years. And then I just go switch it. It's keepers here that's long-term people, high mileage drivers, and they get their car. That thing got 250,000 miles. It's mostly highway. And in 8, 9, 10 years, they go and they replace it. No need to lease. Again, continuing theme, long-term, don't think about leasing. Because some people who just tune in and they catch a brief, oh, is this so everybody should lease? No, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Long-term people, long-term purchase, you buying a car for your kid in college and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna keep that thing for 10 years, man. You know I'm boring. Great. But most kids are not. They're like, hey, when I get my job, when I turn 24, I'm probably going to want something different. So if you're not a long-term person, you should be purchasing. But I mean, you should be leasing. But going back to the high mileage, y'all, this is how it works. The two strategies for high mileage drivers is to have one separate car, you pay that thing off, and now that becomes your mileage car, and you go and lease a nice car. This is beautiful. This prevents you from having two car payments, and this allows you to have a nice car that you're not destroying. So you pay off that first car. If you're going to go this route, your first deal is a purchase, because you're going to get that first car, pay it off, could be new, could be used, but it must be quality. Pay it off, and as soon as that car is paid off, now I go lease my nice car. So I might be putting a high mileage on that first car I'm buying, but once I go lease my nice car, now I got a payment over here, my nice car is over here, and this is what I take out to dinner. This is when I want to go out and have a good time. I don't want a car that I'm just always putting, 30,000 miles a year on. Now I split it. And this has allowed so many high mileage drivers to continually be able to predict what they're going to put in these cars, because now they can't. You cannot predict how much y'all are spending on these cars, high mileage drivers. Y'all are losing so much on resale value. Your loans are just so high and they're moving slow. You don't know how much you are losing, but I break it down for you. It's thousands. You can't destroy the value of a car and then go trade it. It follows you. So that's one strategy. Second is a high mileage lease. Second is straight up. First time I experienced this, I had a guy came in and he was bringing back a lease with 75,000 miles on it. And I asked him, I said, man, I didn't even know. And that's my ignorance. I was selling cars and I didn't even know that was available. And I said, let me ask you a question. How long you been doing these, like, what do you do? He's like, I'm in sales. Like I do 25,000 miles a year, every year. I said, okay, wow. And you lease your car? He said, yeah. Because I already know what a good lease deal is. I just didn't really take into account back then. This is probably 2015. I didn't take into account a high mileage good lease deal. And when he told me what his payment was, and he said, yeah, I come back 75,000 miles. I drop that thing off. I pay my payment every month. Now here's the thing. He might only be paying $150 or $200 a month more for his super high mileage. But that's much better than him buying the cold car, destroying the value, coming back and trying to trade it with 10, 15 grand negative equity. So strategy, you are not really purchasing cars with strategy until leasing and purchasing is in your tool belt and you know when to use which. For your family, not just you, for your family. It's not just you. All right. So great questions. So this is the type of stuff that's in the book. Everything's in the book. Whether you see me live, whether you see me on social media making videos, you're going to get all the information. You don't have to worry about, oh, Deshone is holding back info. It's not. Now, access to me, yes, I have access. I have a Cars from Home University where I coach people personally and we work together. That's access. But as far as the information's out there. It's how you want the information. We'll get it to you anyway. If you want it all in one spot, get the book, get Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping. Download it now. It's 75% off. Scan the QR code or go to deshonesbook.com or go to my Instagram or TikTok bio and get your 75% off copy. But other than that, you don't have to worry about not having the information. See, what y'all have had to deal with is how do we make great car deals? How do we not pay penalties when we don't have the information? But now the information's here. It's here for you. It's just you got to decide, how do I want the information? Do I want to look through all Deshone's videos? I got a video on every topic. More videos to come. They're not in order, and they're for different people. Some of you are going to purchase used cars. Some of you are going to lease. Some of you are going to buy a new car. Some of you are going to pay cash. Some of you have good credit. Some of you don't. So throughout all those videos, you got to sort through that. In the book, you're only following one path. When I do videos, when I do a book, it's like one path. Let's stay focused so that we can keep you on track. That's why it's step by step. Yeah, that's how the book is designed. All right. How do you purchase a vehicle without proof of income? That's tough. You need other things that are going to weigh. That's a good question. So if you don't have proof of income, credit profile gets you approved, not credit score. So proof of income is usually only required when you have a lower score or you have a new company, new business, and they need some type of way to, try to, make sure they're going to be all right recouping their money. How is the car going to be paid? So if I didn't have proof of income, then I got to work on credit. Or I got to have a lot of cash. And even then, what's the reason we don't have proof of income? Once I know that, I could better explain. What's the reason we don't have proof of income? Seems dealers don't care about mileage if you release with them. That's now good time. So now watch this, y'all. This comment just came in. We'll still cycle through all the comments. We got another a little while in this hour. We're getting through as much as we get through. It's good time on YouTube said, seems dealers don't care about mileage if you release with them. Absolutely a mirage. I asked y'all earlier, who's had somebody say, a dealer say, oh, we'll take care of the old payments. We'll take care of the mileage penalty. It's absolutely not true. And since 2006, here's the only time, shout out to y'all running the likes up on TikTok. I appreciate it. Y'all keep running them up. Thank you so much. Shout out to the sharers. Could everybody who shares good information, just hit the share button wherever you're at and share with somebody if you're in this sharing. So I've never seen mileage taken care of, ever. No program, no bank, no leasing company, and we've done thousands of transactions. I've never seen a leasing company say, we'll forgive mileage. Never. So that does not happen. Mileage penalties let's say we calculate a $2,000 mileage penalty, that gets rolled over to your next lease deal, and we're working that lease deal with that $2,000 accounted for. So whatever the deal is we're working you, now, perfect, here's what it is, make sure that $2,000 penalty is in there. You pay for that. Now, in some cases, very rare, there's loyalty programs where they waive some payments. Mercedes used to have this. It's since gone away, and they didn't have it on every vehicle. They didn't run it every month, where if you lease another Mercedes, we'll cover 3 of your old payments. So you could get out 3 months early, no penalty, but it had to be waived. Since I got into the business, I've heard dozens of people sitting around me say, we are going to be waiving those, but we're going to be taking care of those payments. Are you waiving the payments? Or what do you mean by that? Are you waiving the payments? See that, and when you ask them that question, I don't want you to even go in looking to get out early. I'd rather you know what your deal is, so you can shop from home the way I teach, where no one has to reveal that information to you. No one is. If you got the right strategy, you're never putting yourself in a position where someone can lie to you without you knowing it. So if you go in the old way and you go into one dealer and say, hey, I'm looking to get my, new lease and I got like penalties, and they'll say, okay, we'll take care of it. That's putting yourself in position to be lied to. Oh, we took care of that. We built in the payment. Yeah, all the payments are taken care of. This is your new payment. When we shop, when we take control of our deal, that's not something someone's telling us. That's something we already know, because when we're over on mileage, we always want to see how much can we sell the car for. I was over mileage on my Jeep, sold it, still made money. There's plenty of people who go over on their mileage and can still sell their lease and make a lot of money. Even if they break even, they avoid the penalty. So first is always to do our equity assessment and see how much we can sell the car for. And if we can sell it, we avoid the penalty. And then we're choosing payments. Do we get out early? Do we make the payment? You see, when getting out of your lease early, unless you sell the vehicle, y'all, you can't get out of your lease early. You're breaking a contract. So I don't want y'all I don't want y'all using language or comfortable with language that cost you money, because you've heard people say this for years. Oh, I'm just going to get out of this. No, you're going to get out of it and you're going to pay penalties for that. So because they've taught us, or you've been taught, oh, you can get out no problem. You call the dealership, hey, you know what, y'all? I bought so many cars from y'all. I know I'm supposed to keep this lease for how many years? It's supposed to be 3 years, Mrs. Johnson. Okay, yeah, but I think I'm ready for something new already. All right, well, when can you come in, Miss Johnson? See, they're never gonna say, just so you know, Miss Johnson, if you break the lease, the penalty is gonna be, pretty significant because you contracted for 3 years and now you're getting out. So we're gonna have to roll over probably about $3,000 or $4,000 to your new lease. So no, they'll just come in, get you in, and all right, here's your new payment, Miss Johnson. You don't realize that I'm paying $100 more for this car than I could have been paying if I just waited. But because you've been taught to be a payment shopper, it doesn't matter to you. But somebody who's financially savvy, who's like, man, I don't want that extra $100 coming out of my house for the same vehicle. You're not going to do this. So we cannot ever believe what dealers say about penalties, about, oh, we'll take care of that. We find out, can we sell our car to avoid the penalty? Or if I can't, I either got to pay the payments and get out earlier, or I'm going to stay in it and just take the mileage penalty. That's not a bad idea most times, y'all. Sometimes people will call and say, yo, I'm going over mileage. And I say, okay, well, based on how you're going over, you'll only be over by like 2,000 miles. That's only $500. Oh, I thought it was going to be more than that. Nah, you're going to be over by 2,000 miles. Just, wait till the end. And then when you get your new car, build that 500 into the deal, and that's it. Or just pay the $500. Because very rarely are people, oh, I was supposed to drive 36,000 and I'm doing 100. That's just, wait, something went wrong here. What the heck happened? I can see you were supposed to do 36 and you did 40. You're supposed to do 36,000 miles, you did even 45. Maybe you got a different job. But I mean, how we have to structure our leases right so that if you know you're a high mileage driver and you take a 10,000 mile a year lease, shame on you. Like, we can't do that. We can't do that. Some people, oh, I'll just buy it at the end. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself. The residual value, you're going to put a ridiculous amount of money on those, or a ridiculous amount of mileage on that car, and you're going to buy it in 3 years with 90,000 miles on it for the same buyout price that was estimated from your 10,000 mile a year lease. They estimated this buyout price is for a person who brings the car back with 30,000 miles on it. Here's the price. And then you bring it back with 90 and you pay the same price. Oh, I'm just going to buy it because I went over on the miles. No, killing yourself. You're realizing the loss. So again, this is why we want to be in your life. This is why I'm doing my best to be in your life so that you can avoid these things. Anybody who really wants to have somebody, like, we're set up. We've been doing this for 3 years as far as a company, providing education. So, whether it's hundreds, thousands, dozens, we're set up to make sure that everybody who wants to protect themselves and get the best deals are able to do it. Paula, got my book. Phenomenal. Use it. Everybody that got the book, thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, Lord. I appreciate you. We're going to be doing these lives regularly. I think, this is the best format. I like to come and interact and really answer questions and really show y'all, why I want you to start treating cars, buying cars and leasing cars, getting cars like buying small houses. Most people treat getting cars like going to Walmart and getting a TV, big screen. You come back home and you're like, man, it's like you get an itch, but you get an itch for a $30,000 decision or a $10,000 decision. When you start planning out your car purchases the way I'm going to show you, and you go in with a system and a strategy, the way that's taught in my book is 7 steps. First step is deciding whether you lease or buy. 7th step is delivery. So by the time you get to step 7 in my book, by the time you get to step 7 of what I teach, you should be picking up your car or it should be being delivered to you. So it's not about learning and reading and then, okay, Deshone, I just read everything. I just learned everything. I just watched all the videos. Now I'm ready to go get my car. No, we're going to you learn by doing. And if I teach you a different way to shop, different things to do, By the time you get your car, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't need Deshone to tell me what to do step 1 through 7. I just needed him to tell me this is step 1, do that. And then when I'm done, I come back. Okay, Deshone, I did step 1. What's step 2? Here's step 2. Do this now. Okay, perfect. Let me go on these websites, do step 2. Perfect. Just did step 2, Deshone. Perfect. Here's step 3. Do this. And we found that that has been able to guarantee success for so many people. And that's how they're able to get the same deals that I get. Like this is this lady right here, this young lady, like Taupe. She got a BMW $54,000, $54,750 BMW, putting dealers against each other. She got it for $690 a month. She got the protection plan and raised it up. Her payment on that BMW. Now, mind you, if you can see on YouTube, if you can see on Facebook, you can see this slide. $690 a month. People are paying for that $54,000 BMW. People are paying $1,100 a month to go in and purchase that car. $54,000 is $1,100 a month with no money down because she didn't do any money down. $690. You see what I'm saying? Some of you might be looking, and quite honestly, some people may watch it because we're going to syndicate this. Whether you're watching this live or in syndication, doesn't change the value. You might be driving that same car, and you might be looking and saying, "Yo, I'm paying $1,000 a month for that car. She's paying $690. I put $8,000 down. She put no money down. We can't compare. You think Dave Ramsey, God forbid, and look, shout out to Dave Ramsey. I love what he teaches in terms of financial literacy. I love that he teaches people to invest and build for retirement and make sure I love that. But there's an area that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that's when it comes to cars. See, look, credit is a big part of what, it has a lot to do with me helping you. Y'all don't hear me teaching credit. It's important. It's a complimentary topic for us to talk about. I talk cars, how to make sure you pay the lease for them. Yeah, maybe natural. Let me get some credit tips too. Rodney, you could just go right to my TikTok bio, grab your book. It's 75% off. Click the link in my TikTok bio. You think she can ever listen to someone that tells her you shouldn't be leasing? She knows when to lease and when to purchase. She's not in love with that vehicle. She's not keeping that vehicle 8, 9, 10 years. So how can I drive this vehicle for the lowest amount of money in my household? I'm going to shop all my offers. The dealer that wins the bid, I'm going to see what it is. Oh, look at that. It's $690 a month. I'll take it. This is how we are going to keep thousands of dollars in our household. As things continue to go up, I need you guys to be spending. I need you not only to be making sure your cars are below your max budget so that every single month you're not growing tired and weary of your car payment. That means it just needs to be below your max budget. And then the second thing we need is to make sure that you are driving the best possible product for that money. You could be below budget and look at what you're driving for the money, and you're like, yeah, I'm below budget, but could I have gotten a better car for this money? Could I have gotten more car for this money? And I'm here to tell you that when you understand leasing, you're going to see there's no comparison. $690 a month for a daggone $1,100 a month vehicle to purchase. So short term, less than 8 years, we always lease. We never purchase. Now, in another episode, when we start talking about, in another segment, we'll talk about overpriced leases because every lease is not equal. Y'all gonna learn. Every lease deal, even when you learn to shop, you must learn to shop. You must, because 80% of dealers are overpriced on their leases. 80% of dealers who gave Taupe a quote, let me come back from this screen. 80% of dealers who gave a quote to this young lady, Taupe, on her BMW were a lot higher. Some of you even saw it on the video. It said it when she wrote it. It said, man, all these other offers were a lot higher. That's how it's supposed to be. So you can't go back and forth with one dealer. You must reveal the best dealer, the best offer through multiple offers. So that's what you do. And you do that whether you're leasing or purchasing. And When you start doing that, you'll understand. That's in the book. That's what I teach. Bids. One-to-one negotiation is dead. I want y'all to eliminate one-to-one from we never do it. Because you cannot do that with any other item and win. You can't do it with jewelry. You can't do it with groceries. You can't do it with televisions. You can't do it with houses. One-to-one negotiations, you lose every time. You must see multiple options, multiple offers, and then we pick the best one. And what you see is that's gonna be done with loans we get, cars we buy, and cars that we sell. We don't trade. So, all right, yeah, this has been great. I need her contact. I don't know what you, I guess y'all having a conversation. I didn't know what y'all needed contact-wise. All right, let's see. Is buying and selling a car a good hustle? I'm not really teaching people how to buy and sell cars because, if you want to go into the car business, that's not what I teach. Do I have to log out to purchase the book? You shouldn't have to. Let me try to reset. Let me know if it's still showing a $97 price or if everybody was able to get the 75% off price. Let us know. All right, I just reset it, so it should give you an opportunity to go back in there now and get it at the 97% off. All right. Buy dealer loaner cars. It depends. Those can be great opportunities. But again, we still need something to compare it to, Tina. Tina on Facebook said, buy dealer loaner cars. Now, we will buy or lease a loaner car if it's a great offer. So when we reach out to dealers, you'll see in the book, I teach you to go to the website because I give you my scripts. I tell you what to say. Some of you could do it by phone if you want to call a dealership and try to get multiple offers, but I would only speak to a sales manager. And even then, you got to just make sure that you but only speak to a sales manager. But the point is, if they have a loaner car, it needs to be so much better than what I could get a brand new one for. So if, for instance, if the dealer that wins the bid is offering me $3,000 off on a brand new one, but a dealer with a loaner car is only offering me $3,000 off or $3,500 off, and it has 3,000 miles on it, I'm going to go with the brand new one. But if I don't have anything to compare it to, then I might think 3,000 off is a good offer for the loaner car. See what I'm saying? See, price assurance is when you guarantee. I want y'all to listen. If you want price assurance, type PA in the comments. You want this every time you make a deal. Price assurance means I guarantee that I paid the lowest price that I could have paid. That's called price assurance. I want you to understand, some of you have been though, is that possible with cars? That's what I want you to move from now on. I never want you to make another car deal without price assurance. How do you get price assurance? Multiple offers. It's the same way you get price assurance when you're buying groceries, when you're buying, spaghetti sauce. I know I saw enough offers to know there was nothing out there less. I went in, I looked at one brand and said, I gotta have it. I like those. And it was $1 off. And I thought price assurance is the best thing with a car because you literally can look at all these offers and say, this is the best one. It's amazing when you realize you're the prize. Some of you'll be like, man, I haven't been treated like I'm the prize. I know, we're gonna change that. When you use the systems that I want you to use, you'll realize, dang, I've been the prize the whole time. You mean all of these banks and credit unions would work this hard to try to give me, it's all these options I got? It seemed like before I really didn't know all my options. That's right. But when you now change the way you shop and you now move into a bidding mindset, everyone I'm going to do business with must win the bid. The bank, the credit union must win the bid. And then I'm going to give the dealers a chance to see if they can beat it. Now they bank's going to get a chance to bid. Very soon we'll talk about how to do that without affecting your credit. I want to show y'all this bank bidding war process. We have a specific way we shop for loans, credit unions, banks. We let dealers access our credit, and it shows as one inquiry when it comes to affecting our score. You must learn that, because when you see how much money is in the loans, you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be like, dang, I never shopped around the way I should have for my loan. I never shopped around. That's fine. No, there was no one to tell you. Now there is someone to tell you that if you have a $30,000 loan and the interest rate is 5.9, if you could have got 4.9, that'd have saved you $1,000. Do you get what I'm saying? If you have a $50,000 loan, 1 point on the interest rate, say you $2,000. So we must imagine if you could get 2 points lower, say you $4,000. So we are excited to try to get money off the car. We're going to be just as excited to make sure we're not giving that money in our loan. The banks are not loving us because we don't want the banks to like us. We want the banks to say, man, we barely making any money on this loan, but we'll take it. You don't want the bank to say, oh, every time they need a loan, they just come right to us. They love us. Give them 5.9. They don't ask no question. Give them 6.29. Give them 7.2. Whatever. They're not gonna shop. No, we don't want that. So, all right, y'all. So I will be back for another segment. These are the things we're gonna continue to do. We'll be live on all 4 platforms. We look to partner with more platforms in the future. So if there's a platform that y'all think we should be on streaming, let us know. Right now, we are, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So it's been great. We had probably, consistently 400 or 500 people on here. And so if you want to get your book at 75% off, as long as the timer hasn't come down, you should click the TikTok bio. Name of the book is Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. If you Google it, you'll see it's already rated 4.94 on Goodreads. We have 31 reviews. So we're on our way to being a 5-star bestseller. And it's really the people using it. So I want you all to use it. Get it for 75% off. Normal price is $97. Download it immediately. Start to use it. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can scan the QR code and get your copy, or go to Deshone's book. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mandy. Facebook is the same handle. Deshone the Auto Advisor on every channel, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's always Deshone the Auto Advisor. So we'll be back to answer more questions. We'll be talking more about leasing, but we'll be talking more about deal structure, shopping, how to check and make sure cars are reliable. There's a lot of cars going out here with bad reliability ratings, bad longevity ratings. So they are not the cars that we need to be buying for keepers. We got things we got to look out for, y'all. Like this is the tip of the iceberg. We're buying a car to keep. You know how many people have bought a car, it wasn't quality? We didn't check longevity. I thought I was going to keep it 8 years, 10 years, but car started giving me issues, transmission issues at 80,000 miles. I didn't know that. We got to make sure we're checking these things. We got to make sure we look into every, so we'll break this down step by step. I'll be going over my system, my 7-step system, and just going deep with pieces of it and answering you guys' questions. Borrow against your money in the bank. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever gets you the biggest net return, Tina. She said, I don't get loans. Borrow against your money in the bank. As long as, just whatever gets you the best net return. I'm just here to tell you that interest isn't the only loss on money. Opportunity cost is a loss. When it comes to financial, if you were taking a class on finance, opportunity cost is real. If I could have put my money in something and made 10% on it, but my money was in a car and I didn't have that money, and that money is losing me 10% in the car. So let's just say I put the 20 grand in the car, and then every year that 20 grand is worth 2,000 less, then I'm losing. It's a negative 10% return every year on that 20 grand. When I could have had that 20 grand somewhere getting me 10%, use the bank's money at 4%, and now I'm still at a net positive when it comes to, am I richer at the end of the year? Am I richer at the end of the month? So I just say that to say we've been taught when it comes to finance, we just talk interest. Oh, I don't want to pay interest. I don't want to pay interest. But I'm here to make sure everyone knows the total package of why people who don't pay cash for cars, who could afford to, who literally can write $100,000 check for anything they want, why they don't. See, I'm not interested in, I'm interested in why the people who could pay cash for cars choose not to. And it's not what you've been taught. It's not because, they just love debt. Now, these people have paid off houses. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about. So, and again, all in my book. If you want it all in one place, grab your copy. But yeah, this was a great segment. We will certainly be back. Always a pleasure. And just make sure you're subscribed so you do get notifications when we go live. Make sure you're subscribed on TikTok. Make sure you're following so that when we're live, you can jump on because we're going to be doing this a lot. All right. I'll see y'all soon. God bless everybody.